This is the It's Time to Refresh podcast with Brad Refresh, the podcast about life, music, traveling, shit, literal shit that is, and weird and wacky stories with Brad, and a range of guests from the planet Earth. Feel free to share the pod with your pals, your mom, your neighbor's dog, or even your shrink. It's all fun. You can follow our Facebook group called It's Time to Refresh Community, or It's Time to Refresh on Instagram. Write into the pod, ask questions, and share your stories. Enjoy the pod.
Hey kid, what time is it?
It's time to refresh.
You all right? How we doing? Just want to take 2 minutes of your time before we start this week's podcast to tell you about our Patreon. Patreon is a tool that we're using to help the podcast grow, give you better content, and, well, as I said, just let the podcast grow. So we've got 3 tiers. The first tier, there's only 20 of these spaces available, and it's £1 for life, and that's for It's Time to Refresh Originals. So if you've tuned in from day one and you want to join the cause, you can sign up for £1. Just follow the link in the description. We've got the standard Patreon, which you get access to bonus episodes, some exclusive content, Patreon specials, which we'll be recording, and early access to all future episodes. So you'll be getting them on a Tuesday instead of a Friday, which I think is fucking amazing for £3. That's less than a coffee. And then we've got our legend status VIP Patreons, which is £10. And that gets you tickets to all my gigs, and it will get you free entry to any It's Time to Refresh associated events, gigs in the future. So that's a little hint of what's coming up in the future. If you do like the podcast, then please share it with your mates. We are trying to grow this little thing we've got going. We've got some amazing guests coming up in the future as well, and we want this to go bigger and better. So sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/It's Time to Refresh. Thank you. Enjoy the episode. Back once again with another episode. This is episode 33 of the It's Time to Refresh podcast. On this episode, we've got Carl Cover. How we doing? All right?
Good, mate. All good.
And we're going to sort of get into his story, and we'll talk music industry, we'll talk life, and we'll talk all sorts. As usual, on the second part, we've got the questions, etc. I just want to apologise for last week's episode with Luke as well. The first 5 minutes was a corrupt file, so I done what I could to make everything make sense. Carl enjoyed it, so I hope you did as well. So how we doing, mate? You all right?
Good, mate. Yeah, all good. Cold up here, but other than that, it's all good, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, he's made the journey up to mine today, so because his missus is working locally, so yeah, it's good to have you up here, mate. It's when we started talking, and I was like, this would make like a good podcast. I thought this will be really good. I've looked forward to this one as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I have. I remember speaking to our Jordan a while back, and we've both got a really good story, and we said it for years. We should write a book, like,
yeah,
because it just not even for sort of for selling purposes, just to sort of remember. Bloody hell, I've been through that. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of things you don't remember until you actually sort of go down the rabbit hole and start delving into your memories and stuff like that, and you think, Jesus Christ, like, wow. Because a lot of it is just sort of buried away a lot of the time until you start going in and thinking, right, I remember when this happened, and then that triggers another memory onto something else and stuff like that. So I've wanted to do something like this for a while, like, to be fair, to sort of just to let people see a different side of
everything.
The class clown, do you know what I mean? So
people don't realise that, like, especially within, we were just talking off pod there, like saying, you don't realise how much people are animated within the scene. So so you could be up on that stage and you could look like Elton John on the stage or someone. Do you know what I mean? Like you're that performer, and that you very come across maybe 2-dimensional because you're just that performer. That's your life sort of thing. Yeah. But then you've got your actual life behind you as well, where you've got your humour, you've got like everything to talk about as well. So yeah, that's why I wanted to get you on as well, because I thought, fucking hell, this would be like good, because obviously you want to get it out there, and I thought it'd be just stupid not to.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Before we get into it, I just wanted to ask you, we just touched on it as well off the pod. Last week you did Let's Have It. How was that, mate?
Sublime.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was. I've been to a lot of nights out, and I think because I was relatively sober, I think I'd had maybe 5 vodkas all night. I was relatively sober, but from the minute I walked in, I got in there about 10 to 9. Music was already playing. Rob J was on, and I remember the exact minute the mood changed. He was playing a couple of vocals, and then he dropped this. I don't know what track it was. I need to find out because it was unreal. As soon as he'd done it, everybody went, "Oh!" And then the atmosphere just went from there. It just peaked, and then it peaked all night. And then, obviously, I was really excited anyway because I knew that our Jordan was there, and I knew that he was going to be there later on. So it's rare that we booked on the same night because obviously usually he's with Ian doing his Ultra Beat stuff and they're doing like the festivals. So it's rare that we're on the same vibe. But also he texted me during the day and said, I think I'm there all night because I think it was Doncaster or wherever he was, had been pulled. So I'm there for the full. So I was like, yeah. And he said, that means I can have a drink as well. So I was like, me and Jordan, drunk together.
Class.
It's a good night, yeah. So we never get to go out anywhere. We never get to do anything like that together. Yeah. So then I was on the dance floor. I'd had a few drinks. Got out in the smoking area with Gemma. And then I come in and Wilco's up with Keogh and Whitby was on.
Yeah.
And next thing, looked over the bar, seen our Jordan. How you doing, mate? Waved off because it was rammed. Like at 9:05, the dance floor was full. Like it was absolutely hammered. And then I'm having a little walk around, saying hello to whoever I knew, and then just seen Jordan up on stage, and I thought, yeah, he's up for it tonight. He was on like I think it was 1:30 or something like that, and this was 10 o'clock, and he was already up on stage, and he was already going for it. So I texted him. I said, "You better be on stage when I'm on." And then
Before we get into that, I just want to say as well, you done something, and I seen the photo of it and that as well. Like a set of brothers wouldn't be able to do. Like there's only so many people in the world that'll have got to perform together on a stage like that. Like I seen that picture that's like sort of from above, and it's you and him together. And I thought, what a moment! Like not just for like bounce music, but like what a moment! Like just because there can't be many brothers who perform in the world together.
Yeah.
Like maybe 1,000, say for instance.
Yeah.
But like a special moment.
I love that picture. Massive shout to Callum Hewitt for taking that one. He was filming Jen because it was on Angel's set.
Yeah.
But he got that picture, and then I'd seen it. I was like, oh man, that is class. Cause
it is, yeah.
It's like
it's quite heartwarming actually. Like,
and it's just like sort of because obviously as his big brother, I'm like stupidly proud of it with what he's done on stage. Like I work in insolvency practitioners.
Yeah.
They're all no one's into going out raving and all that. They're all like, oh, I might go to Manchester for a few drinks this weekend. I'm like, I was at Pure. There were 1,500 people over me. I said I was covered in sweat, and they're just like, how do you do that sort of stuff? Like, they just don't get it. But like to see Jordan, like, especially during festival season when he's got like 10,000 people there, and they're all like, he's got them just eating out the palm of his hand, and it's class. So to see him on form, and then obviously me, I felt Saturday, I think that was probably my best performance ever because I just felt on fire, and then obviously.
Oh, you know when you're on form, don't
you? Like I'm quite energetic on stage anyway, so I bring a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So Jen, Angel, come over to me earlier on, and she said, right, so this is what I'm going to go in with, like a bit vocally. Then as we get further on, it's just going to be bangers. And I was like, yeah, sound. I said, just get everyone singing along, get everyone in the vibe and everything, and this, and then we'll go for it. And then I knew mid set it was class. Because Jen was playing an unbelievable set anyway. Like every single track that she dropped, everyone was like, oh, like, and it was reaction after reaction after reaction. So I don't think I actually said one rhyme. I think it was just a case of just enhance this. Like
hype it.
They didn't need my rhymes. No one was there to listen to anything I've got to say about anything. Like it was just a case of just get them singing along. And then it got to the point where Jordan's got up, so I was like buzzing with that, because obviously in my opinion you've got him and Finchy are possibly the best two to ever do it, in terms of you can stick them in a little, conny club with 100 people, and they'll just spit bars all night, or you can stick them in 10,000 people stadiums, and they're just comfortable no matter what circumstances. Obviously,
both of them have had the longevity as well, haven't they?
That's it,
So,
and
like,
they've been through it. They know exactly how to sort of just dominate the scene, and I think so. To have him up there with me, he did. To be fair to him, sounds like I'm arse licking him a lot, doesn't it? But to be fair to him, he did it all night. He did it with me. He was up there with Connor Walker. He was up there with Wilco, and obviously with Keogh, and then Keogh jumped up with me as well. But he sort of carried everyone through, and he was like, "Yeah, this is the level." So it naturally raised us. So the fact that he was doing that, he was at that level. I've come up to his level, rather than him coming down to mine. He was like, "Nah, Jude, come on, mate." So I was like, "Yeah, let's go for it." And then we was having that much fun up there. Even Keogh got up and did back to. I've never seen Keogh jump up and do back to back with anyone. Like, and he was up there, and all three of us were just going back to back. It was just, honestly, Let's Have It was. I would honestly say it's the best night out I've ever had in terms of performing and just actually being there. When I weren't on stage, I was stood at the side because you couldn't get on the dance floor, and if you were, it was like sardines.
Really busy, like
it was. Upstairs was rammed, the balcony was rammed, so we was at the back, at the side where the chairs are, and we was having to stand on the chairs just to be able to have a dance, because it was mint, and every single person, even at the end, I said to Gemma on the way on, usually you go to a night, we stayed there till the lights came on, and at the end, it gets a bit scatty, usually on nights. Regardless, it gets a bit I think we should probably go and get a taxi before Summit. But even we was waiting outside for the taxi, everyone was like, Oggy. It just, still going. You could tell everyone were just like, they'd had such a good night that they just didn't want it to end. So I'm assuming there was a few after parties after that, because the vibe was just, honestly, it was spectacular. It was the best single night I've ever been to. But it was class. Let's Have It.
Class, mate. It's good to see you sort of up on like that level as well. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously through lockdown, we'll touch on it later on. But I've heard some of your stuff, and I thought there was a lot of potential there. And as I say, getting a stage like that is pretty big. They're growing very quickly. Let's Have It boys. Like,
they are. Yeah, it's
gone from 0 to like probably one of the biggest nights in the scene.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, you've got Keogh and Ricky Gray. Now, they've always been tight with Martin and everyone from BTID. So they know how to put on a show. And then when they're sort of doing their own thing, obviously it's bright, it's colourful. They don't have... everyone who they book, it complements it. So I've seen some promotions in the past, they've booked either an artist or a special guest or something, and you think, it doesn't fit. But everyone who they've booked, obviously Whitby speaks for himself. Then you've got Jordan and Ian speak for themselves. And then you've got the other DJs, so you've got like Angel. I was talking to someone before. I genuinely believe in terms of longevity, ability, knowing how to control a crowd, I would genuinely put a sort of top 10 of my personal DJs of all time for this scene. But everyone was on. Rob J, Andy Mack, considering he was on 3 till 4. And he had everyone. I think, well, it was him and PMB, him and Brownie was because they're doing Bounce Assassins now. And everyone were just on fire all night. Every single DJ was just like, right, follow Rob J's done that, I'm going to go there. And then Whitby was straight on from Rob J. So to follow on from Whitby, you've got to be good. And then I think it was Ricky Gray, and then from Ricky it was class. Like the whole vibe for the whole night was unreal. So yeah, it was good. And the fact that I was sober, I was able to take more in.
So instead of it as well.
Instead of getting like pissed and thinking, oh, what happened? Like it was just such a good vibe. The only bad thing I'd say was it got to about 3:00 and my legs and my calves were dead. I just couldn't dance anymore, so I just leant up against the wall, and everyone was like, "You all right? Are you pissed?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm just 37. I can't do it as long as what I used to anymore." I said, "But yeah." I said, "But other than that," so I've got this thing on my phone where it counts your steps. I'd done nearly 30,000 steps, so crazy. Yeah, it was good. It was a really, really good vibe. So I'm curious to see like how we top that. To be fair, because that's it was a unreal night. Like,
Class.
I think
Class, right.
everybody who said the same. There's not anyone who went and said, "Oh, it was all right." Everyone who's gone and
Had a
said
tough
like,
time,
"It was brilliant."
yeah. So we'll sort of roll it right back to the beginning, if that's all right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll sort of. So who is Carl Cover? So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. You're Carl Cover Junior, is that right?
Yeah. So my
Right.
dad, named after my dad. So and then there's obviously me, Jordan, a few of the brothers. I don't really speak to my other brothers because family dynamics and that. But
Yeah.
it's just born in London.
London.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, me and Jordan were born in London. So he was born in Westminster, Jordan. So he was born in a posh hospital, and then I was born in Dulwich, South London, and then we sort of did a lot of moving around the sort of South London, so like Brixton, Kennington, Streatham.
Yeah.
all
What's
the-
the age difference between you?
between 3 and 4 years.
All right.
So
3 or
yeah,
4 years.
he's I think he's 35 now.
Ah,
Yeah, so I'm
yous are,
38 this month.
Yeah.
He's just turned 35 in August, so
So you're always there, sort of. It was always you and him, sort of thing, from the beginning.
yeah, always. It was always like, and because obviously we've got there's a couple of other brothers, but we're like same mum, same dad.
Yeah.
So it was always us against the world. Like, so always me and him. It was me and him against everybody at school. It was me and him against the other brothers. It was me and him against sort of everything. So it was always like we had the closest bond, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, and because the age difference is not that much either. Like, it was always even sort of we'll go back, but fast forward into when my dad ended up getting custody of us. We came to Bolton. We'd gone from London to Hull and then to Bolton. So when we moved to Bolton, we had like broad Yorkshire accents, like the Hull accent. And even though my family are all from there, I think the Hull accent is probably the worst accent in the world. It's just such a broad Yorkshire accent, like, and we sort of moved to Bolton, and Bolton's very sort of Lancashire type, as you can tell with me now, but you sort of like, oh, these two, like, they're the two with the mad voices and stuff like that. So it was us two against the world type of thing, and it's always been that way. And then obviously as we got older, you sort of learn to handle things on your own. But even like now, anything goes wrong, straight away, bam, done, straight there. So yeah, it's always just me and him. But yeah, we got my big brother, got my youngest brother, and then I've got step brothers and sort of half siblings and stuff like that. But yeah, it's always been me and him. But yeah, we grew up in London. Not the best. It was challenging, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. We sort of moved around a lot. We had to. We sort of had no choice in that because my mum, I think, there's no secret. Most of my rhymes talk about it, and I think some of Jordan's do as well. My mum, she was into dealing, she was into taking, and all the stuff that goes along with that. So
it's the world, isn't it? It becomes, you're involved.
It's
in that world.
it's one of them where there's just kids seeing things, experiencing things that they should never have any involvement in sort of being around or seeing or anything, and then it's just like as she got herself larger and her reputation grew, the world got smaller because we had less things we could do. Because in London, it's not like, say for example, you go to like a little, say like Egremont for example, and you're a big dealer in Egremont. It's all right.
You're just still a small fish, aren't you?
Yeah, when you go to London, you're one of many big fish, and them other big fish want you out the way.
Motion detected at the door.
Oh, sorry about that.
So, yeah, it's there was a lot of things that we went through and stuff that kids shouldn't go through. A lot of things that we've seen you shouldn't see. But
So what areas were you living in, just out of curiosity?
Brixton,
Yeah.
Streatham, Kennington, Tulse,
Yeah.
literally all around South London. We couldn't stay anywhere for longer than 3 months, 6 months, something like that, and then we had to move again because someone else had found out where she lived, and then they're sending people around and everything, and there was so much going on because back then it's not like, I was born in 84, so you're talking, I lived in London till 91, 92.
Yeah.
There's no CCTV and all that then.
Different
You could
time.
get away with doing what you wanted, you know. There's so much that we went through and so much that we've seen. Luckily, Jordan that 3 years made a big difference because he didn't have to go through as much. He still went through a lot, and I'm sure that obviously if you get him on, he'll go through what he's been through as well. But it was good that he didn't have to sort of go through as much. But yeah, it was just there was loads, man, where you just think, what a bitch! How can you put your kids through that? Do you know what I mean? So even now, I none of us have seen her since 1996, I think it is. Like, we just don't have any time. There's nothing that can be said. Like, my mindset is, you put me through so much. Like, you literally fucking damaged me from being down there to sort of when I moved to Bolton. So I moved to Bolton. How old were you? You start secondary school when you're 11, don't you? So I moved to Bolton 3 weeks before I started secondary school.
So you didn't know anyone when you went to the secondary school?
No. I moved here on the 4th of August 1996, and then started Withings, and then Withings at the time had the reputation. It had the nickname Prison on the Hill. It was the worst school in Bolton. It was one of the worst in the Northwest. Yeah. But it was ideal for me because I'd come from such a shit background to be sort of thrown in with all the animals, so to speak. It was like, I'm all right. And then we came because my dad won custody of us on the grounds that when Jordan finally went to secondary school, he couldn't go to the same secondary school as us. So usually they'll put you in a secondary school because your siblings are there. Yeah. We had it strict, no, Junior and Jordan are not allowed at the same. They cannot go to the same secondary. So Jordan went to one on one side of Bolton, I went to one on the other side of Bolton. And we just worked, because our behaviour was all we did was just fight. Because not even like in a cocky way, it was just a case of, you know yourself as kids. Yeah. Kids find out that your mum's on drugs. Slightest argument, your mum's a smackhead. And then it's either you sit there, yeah, she is, or you think, fuck that. Even though you know, they're just trying to take shots at you. Yeah, you still got to defend it. So it was just a constant thing. But also, there's the thing that the people who she had working for her was doing a lot of stupid things as well. So even in London and stuff, she had a lot of people doing stupid things. Their kids go to school with us. And they know the crack. So they're like, that little fucker. Right, see him there? His mum's had someone robbing our car or whatever. Yeah. Go and do him in. So it was constant, like literally just that drug environment where it's just drugs, violence, guns, fucking everything. You know, there's times where we all had to. We sort of. I don't know where Jordan was on this. I know he was born because I can remember how old I was, but I don't know where he was. So in London, for example, a typical day, we was going through Streatham, and when you sort of in that life, you learn to sort of pick up on things that shouldn't be there. Yeah. So I remember sort of was going past this Chinese chippy, was going to some house. I don't know whose house it was now, but was going to some house, and I've looked over. There's a Chinese chippy, and there's a Rasta like studying the Chinese chippy. He wasn't looking at the thing; he was looking at us. I remember thinking to myself at the time, that looks, when you know something's out of place. Yeah. So I didn't think anything of it at the time. I just thought he doesn't fit being there. So I didn't think anything of it. Gone into this house. There's me, my big brother, and my mum, the guy that she was seeing at the time. Gone into this house, and then we was upstairs, and I just remember the whole room was kitted out in Sonic posters. It was on the Mega Drive. Is it Mega Drive? Nintendo? Well, I can't remember. Yeah, Mega Drive. So I was in there anyway. I sat in there for a bit, and I thought, it's really quiet. I'm going to go for a piss. So I got off the bed. There was me, Lee, and this lad. I can't remember his name, but me, Lee, and this lad anyway. I've gone to the door, opened, so like your door here, it's just like a wooden door. Opened it, and this guy stood there with his big fucking shotgun. And I just looked at him. I was maybe 5-6 years old, and I just looked at him and I was like, what the fuck? Like, didn't know what to do. So he's like, downstairs. He had this, it was obviously Yardies because he had a broad Jamaican accent. Like, downstairs. So like me, Lee, and this lad, we had to go downstairs. So as we've got down the stairs, everyone's face down. So I thought they was all dead because I didn't know like what was going on. Yeah. So they said, lie down. So we've had to all So Lee is 4 years older than me. Yeah. So he must have been about 10, 11. So me, Lee, and this lad were lying face down on the floor, and then this woman whose house it was, she's got all her jewellery in her mouth, so she must have heard people booting the door in or whatever. She took all her jewellery off and shoved it in her mouth, and she's trying to say to me, like, stay calm, but with a mouthful of jewellery. I couldn't get what she was saying, so I was like, I don't know what you're saying. So like, shut the fuck up. So that we're all there face down. I was like, fucking hell, what the fuck? And then, but that was like, they came and there was I remember at the time they was asking for money and mobile phones.
Yeah.
So they knew what they was doing, and the guy who stood there with the gun was the guy in the chippy.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you.
And
there,
he was like obviously just in the chippy thinking, right, well the house is there. The chippy's there, I'll just stand in there and wait for him to go in, and I'll know exactly when it is, and then just tell everyone who's sat in the car, right, come on, they're in. So then and then it was only afterwards, and I said, the guy with the gun, I seen him. But when like looking around, there's this guy, like now I know it is like an Uzi type gun. There was all tooled up, there was all fucking guns and all that. But obviously back then, you couldn't have like gone into the chippy and said, oh, let me see the CCTV. There weren't anything like that then. Like this is like late 80s, early 90s, like so. It
very
was mad,
mercenary,
man.
isn't it? Like sort of thing, you know.
Yeah. So it was mad, but that was like not an everyday occurrence because it didn't happen every day, but things like that was happening all the time.
It was normalised.
Yeah. So even when they'd gone, we just went back upstairs and started playing Sonic again. Like it was just like, oh fucking hell, right, okay, right, whose go is it? Like it was just a normal type of thing. I remember once I was in the bath and I was just, as you're a kid, and I was putting on like shaving foam and pretending to shave and all that. And I've gone to spray myself some deodorant, and I didn't know it was CS gas.
Right.
So I sprayed CS gas, and then obviously I'm burning like fuck then. So there was one in every room. So I just thought, oh yeah, Mum likes to smell nice. Like, I didn't realise that she's got it in there in case we get raided again. She could spray it and stuff like that. But I sprayed myself with CS gas, but I didn't know because obviously I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
I'm wetting it, trying to wash it out my eyes, but that makes it worse. So there was only me and my big brother in at the time. I don't know where my mum was. She was probably out doing whatever because she used to just leave us for days on end. Like, there's loads of times where she'd be like, come in, and she'd be like, right, I'm going. I'll be back on Friday. I was like, hang on, it's Sunday. Like, what we doing? All right, well, your uniforms are in the washing basket. Sort yourselves out. But my dad was he'd been through a bit of time away, shall we say? But he was like saying to all his mates, listen, there's nothing I can do. There's, you know, the mum's involved with some really serious guys. If you see the kids out and about, like, just give them a little fiver or something. I'll give it you back. Just give them a little fiver. Make sure that they've got a coat on at least or something, or just like. It's
good that
my dad's mate Leon worked in a chippy. I think he's called Leon. He worked in a chippy, so every time we used to walk past, Junior, Jordan, come here. Yeah, bag of chips and everything. So I ain't got any money. Don't worry, bag of chips. So he used to look after us all the time.
Yeah.
And then obviously we'd have to move because someone else would find out where she was living, and then we'd have to move again and change schools, and then obviously it all starts again. But
were you still in contact with your dad at this point?
No, there was a lot going on. So my mum tried to get him killed. So what she'd done is she took, I think it's 25 grand. She took 25 grand off some guy called Mark, and she said, she took it to say she's giving it to Big Carl to go back to Jamaica. And my dad had never been to Jamaica. He was born here.
Right.
Like, but she said, I'll get this money, ease out the way, and then we can just run London together. So this guy, Mark, he's like, yeah, all right, because for all the faults, she was a fucking good liar. Like, she could manipulate people really well.
Yeah.
So this guy said, I'm sure it's 25 grand. She took the money off him anyway. Spent it. She gave my dad, I think it was 3 grand, and said, go on holiday to Jamaica, go see your family in Jamaica. So my dad's like, yeah, man, fucking hell. So he didn't realise that was part of a get out the country, get out the country fee. So he's gone to Jamaica. He's only come back because I was due to be born.
Yeah.
Jordan, sorry, was due to be born.
Yeah. And
then he's come back, and then this Mark's like seen him shopping and just out and about. What the fuck's he doing here? I thought you sent him back to Jamaica. So my mum was then saying he's refusing to go. He took the money and he's refusing to go. Yeah. So my dad knew nothing of it. So like one night we was living in Kennington, and there's been a buzzer on the door, and then my mum's like looked out the window, ran outside, and then my dad's heard loads of voices shouting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's then gone, like, looked to the window, and he's seen Mark say, go in there and fucking blow him away. So at the time, where we lived on these flats, it's like on the ground floor, they had bars on the windows and stuff, so you couldn't even climb out. So if there was ever a fire, you're dead.
Yeah.
But like you couldn't get out. There was only the one door, and walking down the corridor with this fucking newspaper over a gun was some guy walking in, like, to the thing. So my dad's thinking, what the fuck can I do? So he pulled the electric cables out, so it was all pitch black in the flat, and he's put the gas on the. I might not get away with it, but I'm just gonna fucking chip pan him, like boiling hot chip pan, like, so. That was it. And then for some reason, the guy didn't come in.
Yeah.
And then after that, he was like, nah, I'm gone. This is too much.
Right.
So he had to go. And then during that time, he's sort of like getting his stuff together, because obviously he left everything with us. He just left. He just thought, it's too much. I'm going to end up fucking dead. And for what? Like, for some little bitch like that. Like, fuck that. So he's ended up going. And then he's building his case to sort of fight for custody for me and Jordan.
Yeah.
So I remember once was walking down Brixton, and we was walking up the road, and my dad was on the other side.
Yeah.
And he was walking down, and my mum went, look forward, do not look. So I was like, fucking, it's my dad. But because obviously I'm named after him as well.
Yeah.
He used to take me to work with him. He used to take, because he was a plumber at the time, he used to take me everywhere with him.
Yeah.
And Jordan was just in his pram, so he couldn't really take him. But he took me everywhere. So he took me to like Waterloo and everything. I remember seeing all the big, massive skyscrapers for the first time and all that. I think, wow, this dad works in these. He weren't. He was just doing the plumbing for him. But I just thought he was like in these big offices and that. So I was like, fucking hell, like, this is really. And then to be told, do not look left, do not look right. You just look forward, or you're getting battered. Because she were violent as fuck with us. So we're just walking. My dad knew that she'd said something, so he shouted over it, Junior! So then I could look. He was like, I love you. I'll see you soon, I promise. I love you. So I was like, I didn't say anything back. I just looked and like sort of soldier walking forward type of thing, because I knew that she what she'd do. She knew that I was the way to get to him, if that makes sense. So if she could hurt me, she knew she'd hurt him. Which is the way that it was done a lot of the time. Obviously, Jordan was a lot younger, so he didn't get it as much at that point. He got it later on in life, but not at that point. But so it was like, right, if I want to piss Carl off, I have to piss off to sort of to hurt Junior, and that was it. So I became like the punch bag to sort of to get at him, if that makes a bit of sense. So she was evil as fuck, man. Honestly, like, as a woman and as a parent.
Yeah, there's
like,
no empathy at all.
Nah, it was just all she was asked about is making the money, but she wasn't even making that much, because even when she was making it, she was taking as well. Yeah. So she was just, honestly, she's just a scumbag, man. And like I say,
can I ask though something? You might have an answer, you might not. When you're telling me about this, I just want to know, like, how come she didn't just let you go with your dad? Like, money.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
She got benefits for it.
Right.
So what she'd do, we was the pawns in her power.
Yeah.
So if she sent us off to live with my dad, she's losing out on child benefit for me. She loses out on child benefit for Jordan.
Yeah.
But also what she used to do quite frequent is when she was a bit skint, when the dealings weren't that high or anything, she'd take us down to social services.
Yeah.
She'd say, right, have them. I don't fucking want them anymore. And they'd say, well, we're full. Well, give me 300 quid and I'll take them home.
Right.
So
okay.
back then,
they'd
be like,
so it was she only kept just for purely financial gain.
Yeah, that was it.
Right. Okay.
Like, I had a conversation. I can't remember who it was with. I had a conversation, and I haven't got one like memory where I think that was mint. Even the ones that I have got that are quite funny.
Yeah.
Somehow involve either violence, drugs, or something where at the time I thought, that's ace. But when looking back at it now, especially as a parent, I'm thinking, fuck me, I would never ever put mine,
through it,
not even through it, but anything similar to it or anything like. And I just think, what a fucking cunt of a woman, like, just as a human, what a cunt of a woman who can put any kid through that. Never mind your own, like, you carried them for 18 months altogether with me and Jordan. Yeah. Like, and then to only want them because it benefits you financially, like, fucking hell, what a scumbag, like. But, and even now, like, any woman who will knowingly put their kid, or dad, any parent that will knowingly put their kid into a situation that's going to fuck them up long term.
Yeah.
Like,
it's selfish, isn't
yeah,
it?
like,
You're
what a
using them
cunt.
as a weapon rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
a human being. Yeah.
But that was it. It was purely financial. I don't think Jordan's got any good memories of it either. And it was literally like that from, we ended up getting chased out of London.
So how old are you at this age, sorry?
When we left London, I was 7, I think.
Right.
But even before then, so she, like, Brixton used to have this thing. Have you seen Top Boy?
Yeah.
Right, so Top, you know when they're all on the market and that's where they do all the
Right.
dealing and stuff? It's like that in Brixton. So Brixton, you've got like the meat guy, he'll have the crack. You'll have the fish guy, he'll have the heroin. You'll have like, the weed is this guy. And what my mum used to do is think, well, I ain't carrying it. I'll just send Junior down. So, right, put this in your pocket. You've got to go to the meat guy. So she used to send us doing all the dealings for her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old. If some guy come over to me and said, empty your pockets, I couldn't fight him or nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was a kid. I was literally a child. Like, not even a kid. I was actual child. And then she used to have us like doing everything, or Jordan would have everything sort of like shoved down his nappy and stuff like that. And Junior, take Jordan down to this.
Yeah.
So we'd be like skipping along down the road, like, and then just
unbeknowingly as well.
Yeah, that's it. And we were just in that, and you know, she used to have my eldest brother Lee. She got him onto gear so that he'd go and do all her errands and her grafts and everything for her. So she got him onto stuff just so that...
She doesn't care, does she?
Yeah, she fucking... She's only ever interested in herself, and it's, you know...
So, up until 7, I just want to ask this as well, like, what was typically Christmases and birthdays like? Was it...
Well, my birthday's 4 days after Christmas.
Right.
So it was... to be honest, I don't actually remember. The only time I remember Christmas was when we moved to Hull. And the only reason I remember it then is I moved to Hull when I was 7 or 8. And I think I had 3 or 4 Christmases in Hull. And every one of them, Christmas morning, was woke up in hospital. So every single one, because of either violence or what she'd done or other people.
Yeah.
So like, we'd walk up in hospital. So up until Christmas 1996, that was the first, because that was when by then my dad got custody of us in August.
Yeah.
1996 Christmas, bearing in mind I was born in 84, was
your
the
first
real
proper
Christmas where I thought, you know, this is Christmas.
Is this what Christmas is?
Yeah, like before that, I can't remember fully. I know that obviously we had presents.
Just another
yeah,
day,
we had presents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I know that I think the first Christmas in Hull, we got robbed on Christmas Eve, so we didn't even get any presents that Christmas. Right. It was just we'd gone to my Auntie Pat's house, because my mum's side of the family were all from Hull.
Yeah.
My dad's side of the family were all from Bolton.
Yeah.
And then they both moved to London, met each other, and then both gone back to the respective towns or cities or whatever. But we'd gone to my Auntie Pat's, we'd had Christmas Eve, and then we were going around the corner to ours Christmas morning. We got there, and the door was wide open. They took everything: couches, presents, the Christmas tree, even the carpets were all pulled up on that. They must, whoever it was sending a message like, basically, you've come to our town now. Don't think you're going to be doing in our town what you did in London, because she was known everywhere. Like, a reputation followed her, and the shit that sort of followed her from London. We had to sort of leave London. It was mad as well. I'll go on to this story actually. We had to leave London because we got chased away.
Right.
My dad's always been really good at football, same as me and Jordan.
Yeah.
And we moved to I can't remember what part of London. It was part of London anyway. I'd not seen my dad for about maybe 2 years, so he's sort of doing his thing, trying to build up a portfolio. But because he'd get in contact with social services, and they'd say, yeah, well, we had him for 3 months, but then she came and collected him, because what she'd do is she'd drop us off at social services and say, give me 300 quid and I'll take him back. Yeah. So at first they kept giving her money, so she'd buzzing, she'd take us back, and then 2 weeks later, same again. But in the end, they stopped giving her money, so she just left us. So right, fuck it, you're gone then. So they'd have Lee, my oldest brother, me, Jordan, my youngest brother Joel.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, Joel weren't born then. He was born in Hull. Yeah. So in London, we'd be going around like different foster homes and everything, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. She'd just be taking us. She'd run low on money. Benefits have run out. Right, fuck it, take them social services. They'll they'll give me some money. If they don't, I'll just leave them because I know it puts them under strain. They'll eventually give me the money and give me the kids back and stuff like that. So back then, it's not like now, like especially after like baby P and stuff like that. Like now, if you take your kids to social services, they're going to keep them. They're going to put them in a decent family, hopefully, and give the kids a chance that they should have in life. But she didn't give a fuck, man. She just literally was like, right, you're going to social services. So weirdly enough, they were the best times of my childhood. Yeah. Because we're going to a foster home. I remember I went into a foster home once. I must have been about 6 or 7, and I felt really bad the morning after because they separated me, Jordan and Lee. And I was like, where's my brothers? We haven't got room for all 3 of you. We've got 3 separate families that'll have 1 each. Yeah. So I smashed, like, they had this big glass cabinet with loads of ornaments, so I was smashing fuck out of it. So they ended up bringing Jordan back. They said, we can bring Jordan, we can't bring Lee. Right, okay, so they brought Jordan back. And then in the morning, even after me smashing up the front room and stuff like that, they made us these warm Rice Krispies with warm milk. I'd never had that. That was like, I thought I was a fucking king. Something like that. We didn't even get, like, literally, a lot of the time, for cereal, we'd just be eating, like, the powder out of fucking hot chocolate. She never fed us. She literally didn't give a fuck about us. She was just like,
detected at the door.
She weren't bothered, like, so to be given, like, something as simple as Rice Krispies with warm milk, I was like, fucking hell. So I was like, can I have some more of them? Like little Oliver Twist, like, can I have some more type of thing? But
you don't realise it, though, do you? Like, but people, even in today's world, still live like that.
Yeah,
and
it's like, disgusting, especially nowadays, man.
Yeah, like, we're in the sort of 21st century, and it should be gone. But I know where you're coming from with that. Like just something as small as like having it like that, you've something you've never had before. It's like, can be mind blowing. Do you know what I mean?
I was genuinely like just flabbergasted. Like like fucking hell, you can warm milk up. Like I didn't even know you could warm milk up at this point. Like because I don't even think genuinely I don't even think we had a kettle or anything. Like it was proper squalor that we lived in.
And it was just so she could get by.
Yeah, like, it's whatever she needed to sort herself out. Yeah, and that was that. Like, there's literally no. Like I say, all my happiest memories, and some of my worst memories, to be fair, but my main happy memories are from foster homes, from like when we was away from it, when people weren't fucking like just like torturing us and fucking abusing us and like the shit that we went through. I've got fucking like sig burns all over my fucking hands and shit like that. And this obviously you get people who are like crackheads and all that and
disregard children completely.
And a lot of the time they do things to kids for a laugh that like
entertainment for them.
And like I say, I've fucking scars all over me, sig burns and all that shit. I think Jordan's got loads all over him.
It's not just that as well. It's also the psychological effects it has on children as well. Like, because like even though you're in your 30s now, it probably still plays on your mind now and again. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's one of them where it's affected me, in the sense that, so now for example, because you learn to sort of emotionally detach from things. You sort of lose a lot of empathy yourself, but also like now, if I could be fucking best mates with someone, I could be close as fuck, but as soon as I decide, right, that's it, I'm done. Yeah, it's cut off, and I don't feel bad about it. It's just a case of that's the way you have to be, especially when you're between the ages of like 5 and 10, you're just a sponge, and that's what you learn, all your life traits during that time. Yeah. So when your whole experience is get really close to someone and move after 3 months, get really close to someone, move, because at that age, kids, you're all best friends. This guy, I go to school with this lad, Lee, for example, best friends, and in 3 months' time, never see him again. Yeah. And then 3 months' time, never see the new best mate again. So you just learn to sort of do that in life. So it's a lot of like I've been called heartless loads of times. I think I joke about it in some of my rhymes and that as well, but it's not that I'm heartless, it's not that I'm cold or anything like that. It's just it's long-term damage that's been done that you sort of like you can't, without spending fucking thousands and thousands of pounds on therapy, that's just how I'm programmed, because of when you're a sponge as a kid and you're taking in all this how to be a human.
It's how you've
That's
learned
how,
to develop
yeah,
it.
that's it. So, and it's a sort of defense mechanism as well. So you sort of, if you're used to just cutting people off, bam, gone. When things get to the point, especially now as an adult, I just think if you ain't bringing nothing to the table, you ain't eating from it either anymore. Like I went through shit as a kid that I don't have to go through as an adult. I had to put up with shit as a kid.
Because
I don't have to put up with anything. Like as an adult now, I don't have to put up with anything from anyone.
Yeah.
You live your life and be really happy. I'm gonna live my life and be really happy. We don't have to intertwine.
Yeah.
Like just do that. Do you know what I mean? Like so.
I'm on the same wavelength as you with regards to that. When I was growing up, I lived 2 separate lives. So I lived here with my dad, like this literal house, and then I lived in Scotland with my mum.
Yeah.
Big fallout, harsh words to each other. A lot of crazy shit happened in between. I've touched on it on the podcast in the past. And it's one of them things where for me, it's like my missus says to me, this is I'll use my missus as an example, because if you use anyone else, it doesn't seem as effective. But what I mean is, she'll say like, you have got no emotions whatsoever. But
yeah, I've had that a lot.
It's to the point of like, obviously my dad died when I was younger, when I was 11. My nana and granddad were, I don't want to sound harsh saying it, but they were useless. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't organise a funeral. Like I was 11 and I was ringing up like funeral directors. I was sorting coffins out. I was sorting after fucking thing out of the wake and shit. And I remember like got to the funeral and I seen my auntie and I seen other relations and that, and my mum went to the funeral and that as well, and she was fucking, everyone was crying, bawling their eyes out, and I just didn't fucking no empathy. I felt sad. Obviously, I was sad. Like fucking my dad's funeral. I fucking watched him go and put in the ground. But I had no, and people thought I was gonna go mental over it, because do you know if you're not showing any emotion, it's signs of you could be fucking compressing it into you and suppressing the memories. But for me, it was just, that's how I deal with things, because early on in my life, similar to you, I've went through some stuff with families being involved with certain things and certain people, that you do realise it's like, okay, then why, like, it's just another day. Like, oh yeah, today I'm going to bury my dad. It's horrible to think that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's the same every person who's died around me. I've had a lot of people die close to me. I've had friends. I've had obviously family. And I just deal with it like it's another day. And
yeah, I think I think more in recent years, I'm trying to sort of try the traditional.
It's hard though, isn't it? I feel like it's hard because you've went through the worst possible point, because you have like you've been to the point where, like you were saying, then you were in like a foster home and you were like worried for where Jordan was and stuff like that, and like as a kid, I know it sounds stupid, but it's 10 times more enhanced of what it is. It's like, where is Jordan? Because that's the only life you know. As an adult, you've experienced more things, so if something happens, you're like, right, I know it's going to be okay tomorrow. Yeah. So you that block you've put on, I can sort of relate to. Like, it's just one of them things. But as I say, when you've grown up and stuff like that, you've put that barrier up, and as you say, when you're a sponge from ages, the coming of age time, you as a person have just become, that's who you are. Yeah, and it's hard to change that. And even now,
like, I've tried it with Gemma, because every relationship I've ever been in, they've all said, you're so hard to read, you never open up, you never, like, you're emotionless, you're cold-hearted, you don't give a fuck, you never gave a fuck about me and all that. Some of them are right, but with, like, obviously during lockdown, I think I've known Gemma for quite a few years, to be fair. We've sort of seen each other years before, and even though I really liked her, I also sort of still really like being single as well. Yeah. And it was like a case of it just at that point wasn't the right timing, because I think if we'd have got serious then, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah. So we sort of went our separate ways, and then obviously we gravitated back towards each other.
Yeah.
But it was like I sort of made a promise to her where I said, right, well, what I'll do, I think it was after I did that track, the over the Dre and Eminem thing.
We'll get into that as well.
And she said, obviously I'm your girlfriend. I want to see this. I want to know the signs to, if you ever sort of feel like you're even starting to feel that way again.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, okay. I said, well, what we'll do, I said, we'll try this sort of opening up thing then. I said, and give it a go, and see how it goes. Luckily, I haven't been in that mindset for quite some time, so I haven't actually had to open up about anything, because I think the biggest thing was sort of getting shit off my chest, and then it was like
A release.
like,
It's like it's been lifted off.
It's like a big thing, and unfortunately, some people don't have the ability to do that. But obviously, we'll touch on that in a bit. But like you said, it was just a case of, and I think that stems from bottling up, because obviously that when you're a kid, you don't go to your mates and say like, oh, what did you do last night? Oh, I was playing on Street Fighter 2 Turbo. What did you do? Oh, we had a lot of guys come in and fucking pin us face down on the floor with guns and all that. And you don't
at that age as well.
Yeah, like because
at that age, your mates will be going, oh, shut up, you gobshite.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't live in GTA. Do you know what I mean?
Even now, it's like I never really talk about it, because how I am now as a person, everyone sees me as like the dad, the family man, like, or the MC or football or whatever, the worker. No one's going to look at me now and think, fucking hell, you've been through some shit, like, because of how I am now. But it's taken from 1996 to now for me to get like this. I was damaged for fucking years, especially when I got to like 16, 17, 18, 19, when I got introduced to sort of like weed, pills and stuff like that. And that was my way of just going off the rails, was like, right, it blocks everything. Like, for that, especially when Mitsubishis were out. For that period, when that sort of 5 or 6 hours when you're rushing, you're not thinking of anything else. And I can understand why people become addicts. Because
it suppresses pain.
It gets rid of everything, And I can understand how certain people get onto things and why it takes control of them, because it's so much easier. Like
you live a carefree life.
Being at a rave, even just like even if you're just a weekend addict, which is a real thing. You may not be an addict day to day, but you can be a weekend addict from 5 o'clock Friday when you finish work till 10 o'clock Sunday when you go to bed. You're an addict because you're constantly chasing the high to escape. Your boss might be a prick. Your bird might be a fucking nagging in your ear. Your family are all arguing over who's in the will for fucking the next death. And it's just constant. So the weekend thing, there's a lot of weekend addicts that don't actually realise that they're weekend addicts. And it's you can see why some people will then take that into Monday, and then it extends to Tuesday, and then next thing you know, you're just a full-blown fucking addict. And you can see why people do that. And, I think I did it a lot during my younger years. Like, now when we go out, I'll have a couple of drinks, that's it, because it's the few days after where
you feel like
I think
shit.
It's coincided, me not feeling how I felt when I wrote that track has coincided nicely with the fact that I was going through a custody battle at the time, was preventing me from taking anything, was preventing me from sniffing anything or from doing anything. So, and it's coincided with my clarity. So everything I do now, I'm doing it with a clear mind. I might have a few drinks when I go out or whatever. I don't drink when I'm at home. Every now and again I'll have a Baileys, especially coming up to Christmas. I'll have a few Baileys like during the week and that. But my drinks cupboard at home, it's still got beer in there from like 2 years ago, like half open bottle of JD and stuff, because I just don't drink at home because we've got the kids. I don't believe in doing it because I've seen it so much with my mum. I try to do the opposite of everything I've seen as a kid. I think, right, well, how can I do the opposite? So, for example, I never went on a family holiday. Even when I moved to Bolton, and me, Jordan, and Dad, me and Jordan was on about it last year. Me and Jordan went to Reggae Land with Ryansy and Glenn Matthews, and it was like, even something as small as that, my dad didn't end up coming because I think he was being godparent to someone's kid. And Jordan was saying, we need to go to Jamaica Because I've been to Jamaica, my dad's been to Jamaica, Jordan's been to Jamaica, but we haven't been together.
Yeah.
And it's all been since we've been living in Bolton. So since we've been back connected and us as a trio has been like, but we've never done it together. We've never even been to Benidorm or anything. We've never been on a family holiday or anything. So I've only ever been on a family holiday
with your kids.
With mine. So it's stuff like that.
Be nice to do, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think one day we probably will, but obviously, without sounding too sort of negative, my dad's 1959. He was born, so. You know, he's not far off knocking on the door, do you know what I mean? So it needs to be, if something is going to happen, it needs to happen soon, just to say, yeah, we did it. Otherwise, I'd have gone through the whole of life, you know, never having... I know next year, me and Jordan's saying that he's going to bring Abby and Romy away with me, Gemma and ours. Yeah. So it's like a nice family holiday with that, because, again, we've just never done it. I've never been anywhere with Jordan, because it's just never been sort of part of our DNA growing up. It's like I want
part of your life as like a stereotypical life sort of thing.
I want to make sure that when like my kids are growing up, it's like, well, we have to do the family holiday. Why would you not do like? I want to sort of drill that into them so that the memories they've got of like we went to Alcudia this year. Yeah. And we went with Katie Jenko and Kelvin Davis, who I fucking love to bits. Them two, like they helped me a lot during lockdown. Yeah. And they brought their two kids and that, and it was just class. It was like, this is what it should be like. That these, and I remember I was sat on the deck chair at one point, thinking, I should have had this. Like, fuck, you know, I'm not that much of a cunt. Like, I should have had this. Like growing up, I should have had at least one holiday where I think, oh, do you know what? Everything else is bad, but that was good. But I ain't got any of that. Like my childhood memories are all of drugs, guns, violence, crime.
The thing is, though, you as a person, you realise you're a decent person. You took your kids on that, and your kids will remember that one day. Like,
that's it.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Be like, oh, like, because I've got no doubt that you won't hide the fact of your upbringing to your kids when they're old enough to understand it. So they'll know that what you've done for them means a lot. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because like they're obviously going to be very grateful knowing that you never had it. Yeah, like, that's the way I see it.
I think Callum's already at that stage. He's 10 now, so Molly's 5. She wouldn't understand if I was to explain it to her. And Calvin's 2, so he's not even stringing sentences together fully yet. But Callum loves music. Yeah. So Callum's wrote his few rounds. I'll show you in a bit.
I've
seen them. Yeah. So Callum, like, he's sat there and he's got, because he's got his phone and that now. He's like, Dad, what do you think of this rhyme? I said, it's all right. He wrote a new one the other day. I said, it's all right. I said, but it's very basic. I said, I know you're only 10. I said, but I said, like, I said, it's still very basic based on the rhymes. Because, like, during lockdown, again, I ended up getting custody of him. So he ended up coming to live with me full time. Yeah. Because his mum was struggling a bit because she's been through a lot as well. So they sort of, she said, listen, can you have him? Like, I said, fucking yeah, man. So you mad? Bring him. So that was it. He come to live with me and that. So I was buzzing with that because obviously from the minute I found out he was going to be a boy as well, like I was buzzing that she was pregnant in the first place. We didn't last very long after he was born, and then, but he's always been like, yeah, man, it's me and Callum. It's always me and Callum doing something, like whatever it is. It's always me and him. So the fact that he then comes to live with me at a similar age that my dad got custody of me, it was like it's meant to be. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, man, come to me. So I was buzzing with that, and then he's come over. So then he was like, I want to be an MC, and then you look at say like what Dean's doing with DJ Tyre.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the Young Lasses, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, yeah, man, why not? Let's go for it, Callum. So I started writing a few rhymes with him, and then he comes to the studio with me when I'm doing my mixes and stuff like that. So I'll take him along to the studio, and bam, Ryan O'Sullivan, he's from Collective. He was like, do you not want to get him in the booth? I said, do you not mind? He said, nah, man, he's family in it. I said, come on. So Callum was in the booth, and I'll show you some videos. Oh man, he was in his element and that. He proper loved it. But his flow and everything, like he's just like, go on, Callum, lad. Like, he's proper good. So
starting them young could be really, really good though. I'll use this as an example. Like, but you see kids who start playing football really young, and you know straight away that if they stick at this, they're gonna be really good. Yeah. If he's 10 years old and he's got the floor already, he might, as you say, it might be basic, but
he's got the floor. He knows the basics of a rhyme. We did Rave Kids, so Ben.
Yeah.
Ben messaged me. Well, I messaged Ben and said, "Oh, how much are tickets?" I said, "I'm going to bring Callum along and that." He went, "Don't you worry about tickets." He said, "Even better, do you want to perform with Callum?" He said, "I've seen your thing on his. I've seen you upload his thing on SoundCloud. Do you want to perform with him?" I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, man." I said, like, so I'm saying to Callum, because Callum idolises Whitby.
Yeah.
So I said, "Callum, you're going to be performing," and it was us two with Friday Night Project. So I said, "Whitby's going to be there," and he was
It's not a bad first set for him to
"That's
do.
what I mean." Like I think my first set was, who was it? I think it was in Stag's Head pub, and it was with Cromie, John Crompton. So it's for him to be 10 years old doing it with Whitby. There's people even our age now who are very good who never get to perform with the likes of Whitby.
Yeah. What about his first set with Friday Night Project? Like,
yeah,
you perform with somebody. If I might be mistaken. Someone will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm sure he's got like a platinum record.
Yeah,
like
he's massive.
Yeah.
So for Callum to be there, and I was
Yeah.
like, and I just said to him, I said, "Callum, listen, I'm not doing anything for this." I said, "Centre stage is yours. I'll be up there with you. If you get nervous, just look around. I'm right here with you, mate. You do you." Said because I think I did Let's Have It the week before, and I had Sanctuary the week after. So I said, "Listen, this is all about you now, mate." I said, "Just take centre stage," and he was just, oh man. I was like, I genuinely, I was nearly crying on stage. Like, Keogh was actually crying. I looked over at Keogh and he had tears short. I said, "You all right?" He went, "I'm so fucking proud of him." I said, "Yes, Keogh, man, give Keogh." I had to give Keogh a hug because my little lad, honestly, I'm welling up now thinking, but yeah, it was such a good moment that, like, to see one of your mates that happy for your son and that. Oh man, I was honestly, I was over the moon for that. But
was he hyping and stuff as well?
Everything.
Oh, class.
Okay. There's all going. He's fist bumping everyone, and he was like, "What was he saying now?" He was doing his rhyme. "Everybody make some noise." He went, no, I can't hear you. Make some noise. Like, props, so everyone's going even louder, blowing the whistle. Whistle crew, horn crew. And I was like, "Go on, Callum." Honestly, it was sick, man. It was just like, because Gemma were there, she brought her two as well. And then it was like, we experienced it as a family.
Yeah.
And then what made it good was like Nathan and Lindsay Series Sounds were there.
Yeah.
With theirs, and then Keogh, Whitby, and there were loads of people there, and there was a few people who I've sort of met on nights out. So say for example, the missus is pregnant, so they can't go to an actual rave.
Yeah.
So what we do, we take the kids to rave kids, because that's their way of getting to a rave without actually going.
Yeah.
There was one guy who was there, and he was enjoying it a bit too much. I'm not going to go into detail, because obviously it's for rave kids. But yeah, you could tell by looking at him, he was enjoying it anyway. Right. And he was like, "Right, Carl." I was like, "Yeah, mate, sound. I'm going to go over here with my family because it's a family do." But yeah, honestly, it was such a good, like, when we come back off lockdown and the club's open. So I had the privilege of being the first night. Let's Have It was the first night on.
We've talked about this on Farrell's podcast.
Yeah, and then
they got the first weekend.
That first weekend was.
It's like everyone getting out of HMP all at once.
It was mad. The atmosphere in there was crazy. But that first weekend you had Let's Have It, and then you had Sanctuary as well. I think on the Sunday. So the first 2 nights was Let's Have It and Sanctuary. I was like, how fucking lucky are you all to have that as your first thing? But yeah, it was unreal. But yeah, during sort of like lockdown, because I'd released like the Back to Bars sessions with Pricey, Josh, and myself. I'd released that track, and I'd spent a lot of my time, instead of sort of being down in the dumps, because I was feeling down in the dumps. I thought the only way to sort of, I couldn't go play football.
Yeah.
I couldn't go on a night out. I couldn't go to the pub and just like whatever. The only thing I could do was just write rhymes, and I was just writing. And then I thought, well, now I've wrote them all. What do I do now? I speak to Bam, get in the studio, and then obviously when I was doing that,
you're building, right? You put the same.
Yeah, time, and people had the time to listen to it. Like now, if someone puts a mix out, Pricey released his mix the other week, about 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was.
With Carl.
It took me about 2 weeks to listen to it. It's only half an hour, but it took me 2 weeks to listen to it because now I've got that much going on.
Yeah, it's
hard to find
that time.
Time to sort of say, right, half an hour I'm going to dedicate. Because when Pricey releases a mix, you have to listen to it. You've got to do and you have to listen to it 6 or 7 times because he's so clever with the way that he has things. You've got to listen to a rhyme and then you've got to go back and think, is that what he actually meant?
Yeah.
Because the way that he writes is really complex. It's brilliant. Yeah. And there's so many different like meanings to to what he does. So for me, I listened to it, and then it was only afterwards when Craig Edmonds messaged me and said, "Did you hear this on Price's Mix?" I said, "No, I missed it." So I've had to go back and listen to it again. And I was like, "Yeah, but did you hear this?" He said, "No, I missed that." So I thought, go back and listen to it again. But he's a really clever writer in the way that he does things. So I messaged him then and like sent him a little snippet of it. Yeah. I went, "Mate, that's sick." I said, "That's honestly, that's the best you've ever done." And then there's rhymes on that new mix that he's done that are that good, but it's still overshadowed by other parts of the mix, and you think, fucking hell, that's if that was on its own, everyone would be going mad, but it's not. But because that other bit's in there, that's gone unnoticed, but it's fucking brilliant. Like, so yeah, there's loads of little bits on there, but I think, like I say, during lockdown, it gave me the chance to just put a lot of work out there. And then when lockdown had finished, I was lucky enough I had a lot of gigs, but out of all of them, like I said, being stood on stage with Callum was like watching him do it. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, man, like that's mint. But like I say, I tried to make sure that everything that we went through, like me and Jordan as kids, that he's exactly the same with Romy. You know, the best life possible. Yeah, they'll never even know that life is out there for people, apart from what they see on films and think it's all fairy tale and that. But it is genuine. People go through some shit, man. So
right. What we'll do now is I just want to we'll stop it now and come back for part 2 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, man.
So we're back for part 2 of the podcast. We just had a little piss break and whatnot, and we'll get back into the story. So we before we started talking about the sort of the rave kids and stuff like that, and we got off on a bit of a tangent. We got to move to Hull. So when you said you were chased out of London, what was the situation there? So like you went up there, and did you go with your mum or
So basically, I'll just quickly tell you one last little story about London. So and it ties in nicely to sort of how things are now. So we'd not seen my dad for about 2 years. The last night we had in London, we knew we was moving in the morning. Right. We'd not seen or heard of my dad on it, because back then there was no mobile phones. Well, they did, but they had them big things with the aerials and stuff like that. So it weren't like now where you just quickly jump on your phone.
Not everyone had one as well.
Yeah, no, it was like people either in drugs or rich people, like the toffs and that. But we so the last night, me, Jordan, and Lee, my oldest brother, we've just gone for a little mooch. Because we knew it was the last time we was going to be in London, just go for a little mooch. So we're going around these little football pitches where they had like the old gravel pitches. Yeah. So it's not like AstroTurf like the good kids get nowadays. Like it was like literally them little tiny stones that like horrible. So we're on there anyway, and we're just sort of playing around, and it must have been about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. It was late, and we're just sort of walking around. I looked over, I went, "Dad?" And my fucking dad, we've not seen him and London, such a big place. Yeah. To see one person, the one person in the world that you wanted to see on that night, be there in front of you. And I was like, "Dad?" And he was like, "Fucking hell." So he's come running over, he's given us a hug, and he said, what are you doing? I said, "Well, we're going to Hull tomorrow." He said, "Oh, when you back?" He said, "Where you living?" He said, "I need to speak to," he said, "Listen, I need to speak to Mum. It's been long enough. The dust should have settled by now. Let me go." And so that was it. So I said, "Oh, we're not coming back. We're moving to Hull." He was like, "What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck?" Like, so I said, "Dad, we're moving to Hull literally tomorrow morning. But this is our last night here." He said, "Take me to your house." So
all the stars were aligned there.
That's what I mean, man. You look at some things and you think, like, I don't believe in God and stuff like that, but I think for that not to be meant to be like in London,
and 2 years of not seeing
exactly him like you could have seen him anyway. You could have seen him in well, not Asda because they didn't have it then, but like Netto and all that. Like wherever, he could have been anywhere. For him to be on the very last night that you ever spent in London, in the exact same place and the exact same time, the chance and him, he was only there because they double booked his football slot and he had to be moved an hour back. So he wouldn't have been there otherwise. It was mad. I think that's the thing. I know he was there because something else had happened and he had to have the later slot or something like that. Yeah. So for that to be was like. Fucking like thinking back now, you think, fuck me, how did that even happen? Yeah. So he's gone back to my mum's anyway. We had to go in and let her know first. Dad's outside, like, so she was like, "Yeah, we're moving to Hull. This has happened. He knows where I live, so I need to go. Like, we need to get out now." So I think she found out the day before that someone knew where she lived.
Yeah.
And we had to get gone before he had enough time to put a plan in place to go and fucking basically kill her. So we had to shoot off. But then he got my aunt. I think he got my Auntie Pat's number. And then he wrote this phone number down for me and Jordan. He said, "This is Grandma," and we touched on it before. He said, "This is Grandma's number." He said, "Keep it and memorise it." He said, "Just keep saying it over and over and over and over again." He said, "Because what you can do, if I can't ever get hold of you, you ring this number, you speak to Grandma, and tell her where you are or whatever, and we'll do it that way. So she'll be the go-between." And I was like, "Yeah, but how can we ring you? Because we might not have a landline." He said, "Reverse charges. I'm going to ring her later on. You reverse charges as much as you want to stay on the phone as long as you want." He said, "That's the number. She's never going to move house or anything. That's where it is." So 535-827. Like, so it's straight off the top of my head now. Like, and that was it. So we moved to Hull. But then the people that was chasing her from London weren't happy with the fact that she just moved to Hull and got away with everything. So they followed her to Hull. So then that was it. Then we moved to Hull and it all carried on. So we went to a hostel first. And we met this the mum was called Dawn and the son was called Danny Turner. I hated him. And he was a few years older than me. He's the same age as Lee, who's 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
And Danny was already into like pills and all that sort of stuff and trips and everything. So he was, when we moved, weirdly enough, they ended up being our next door neighbours. So I don't know if it was just we moved into like a new housing estate and we just all got put in, or whether it was just aligned. But anyway, so Lee's then taking drugs, Danny's taking drugs, and all Lee's mates are taking drugs. So what she's doing is she's got all the drugs and she's saying, "Right, well, do me a favour, I need this, and this. Minions, go and get it. You need to go get me more customers and I'll keep feeding you." So that was it then. That's how she had everyone going.
Yeah, so she had her own line in sort of...
Yeah, and then what she was doing though, because obviously she was fucking skank, she was like running brothels and everything, and then she was like fucking sleeping with everyone who she's selling stuff to, and she was just like into prostitution and fucking everything bad that comes with drugs. She was involved in it.
Yeah.
The people that she had around the house were fucking disgusting. They were doing things like to kids that shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't see much of it. There was one guy called Dennis, and he fucking got his cock out one time and he started like wanking in front of me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "You do it." And so I just ran out the room, and then like fuck that, I think I ran out. It was when we was living in part of Hull called Bransholm, and they had these big massive flats facing, and I just ran in there. I got in the lift and went up to the top floor, and that was it. I just stayed there I think I stayed there all night. I thought, I'm not going back there. And then because I knew Jordan wasn't there, Jordan was at, I think he was at my Auntie Pat's.
Yeah.
Where I knew whoever he was, I knew he wasn't there.
You
so I
knew
thought,
he
wasn't going to go for anything like that. And then there was a few times where things had been said and things had been done and stuff, and like where you think, no, even as a kid, you know, it's not. I shouldn't be in this room. This is not right. Like there's things going on, and like especially when there's smackheads and all that. Like, and you're watching people. Like, say we're sat here now, and there's two people just shagging on the couch there, and you just like, as a kid, you like, what the fuck, like. But it's like, in a weird way, you know, like
you're
when
desensitized to it.
You know when a dog's lipstick comes out and you keep looking. It's the same. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's the same. You know you shouldn't be looking, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
You're just watching these two people go at it on the couch, and as a kid, and you're just like, you're not feeling like any sexual thing for it because you don't know about all that.
It's more the fact of like,
what is he doing?
Yeah.
And you're just sort of watching. But then it was weird, man. So like, what she used to do, she used to do a big Sunday roast every Sunday. Do you remember when Football Italia used to be on Channel 4? Like, Go Lazio!
Oh, yeah,
It used to come on every Sunday on Channel 4. So she'd do a big Sunday roast, and then you go in the kitchen and there's loads of fucking needles just there, like, so everyone could have a jab afterwards and like just basically fucking gouge there. And I remember once, this Danny Turner, we was always sat on the floor because we were allowed couch privileges. And he was sat there and he would just punch me in the back of the head and punch me in the back of the head. I was sat there just trying to watch football. He'd punch me and punch me. I'd cry my eyes out. And I thought, it's all right, because one of these days I'm going to fucking get you back. My plan was to I was going to kill him. I was going to stab him. And I thought, I know that at some point you're going to be asleep.
Yeah.
So I'll just go and get a knife, I'll stab him, job done. And it weren't long after the James Bulger thing.
Right.
So I was thinking, right, if I just get something really heavy and hit him over the head, I can
it.
do what they did to the James Bulger thing, and I sleep, I'm going to do it to him. And anyway, he was punching me, and he burnt me with something. I can't remember, it was something in my head. He stabbed me with something or burnt me with something.
Right.
And I was sat there, I was crying, went into mum, said, he's hitting me. She said, sit the fuck down. I said, he's hitting me. So she smacked me. So stopped telling lies and all that. So I'm sat there thinking, what a fucking bitch, man. Like, the one person who you should be able to go to and say, like, this guy's hitting me.
Yeah.
And because he was one of her minions who used to go out robbing for her and stuff like that, she didn't give a fuck.
She valued him.
Yeah.
Far
more, because obviously he was bringing money and I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was bringing in a little bit of child benefit or whatever it was then. So he'd gone in the kitchen, done what he was doing, come back, and then he'd fell asleep. And Joel, my youngest brother at the time, he was on this little sort of like tripod bike.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around and I thought, buzzing, everyone's asleep. So I picked Joel up, moved it, picked the bike up, I was like, fuck off. I bounced it straight off his head, it just opened up his face. And I'd never seen blood like to that extent before.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. But like, I'd froze, because then he's woke up and I thought, shit, now what do I do? I didn't know what to do. So he's grabbed me, he's kicked fuck out of me, and then he was battering me. And then Lee's other mate, he was called Lee as well, Lee Houghton, another guy. I'll tell you a funny story about him. It's a bit sick, but it's funny. He was punching me, and my mum's come running, and she's booting me. So I had three, like, at least 17-year-olds and a woman putting the boot in on me. I'm like,
fucking hell.
I'm like fucking 10 years old. They proper putting the boot in, so I've got battered. So I've managed to run upstairs anyway, hid away, and then that was it. I think I stayed there for the night and just sort of hid in my room. But I used to have this thing, I don't think I've ever told anyone this, have I? I used to have a thing where I was that stressed, I was that traumatised, I couldn't go to the toilet, so I couldn't have a shit. So I used to shit myself, but not actually shit myself. It was just because the doctors, when my dad got custody of us, the doctors said that I was that stressed, I had that many toxins inside me, I was ready to die, and I just couldn't go to the toilet, because either you're scared of people running in and fucking booting the door open, or you as a kid you just don't know how to deal with
the
things.
anxiety of it.
Yeah. So I didn't go toilet properly for years, and then so I had like Lee, my big brother, my mum, and all the mates used to call me shitty ass and all that, and it weren't like a case of being lazy or anything. It's just because I couldn't go. I physically couldn't. I was literally scared shitless.
It's their fault, essentially.
Yeah, I was literally scared shitless, like, so, for want of a better expression.
Right,
But yeah, it was mad. And so, but then because they made a big deal out of it, it made it even bigger to not go to the toilet and stuff. And in the end, my dad got visits of us whilst the court case was going on. And then he took me to the doctors, and the doctor was like, he could fucking die. Like, we need to get all this stuff out of him now. So they give me this stuff. I kept having this medicine. It tastes like chalk. I can still taste.
Does it clear out sort of thing? Yeah.
Empties you. And I just remember being on the toilet for hours, and it would just, everything would just coming out of me. And it was mad. I just felt, afterwards I felt drained. I literally was drained, but I just remember feeling, fucking hell, I'm knackered. Like, and it was because obviously your body's doing things it hadn't done for years and stuff, and like it was just a lot of stress and torture that you were going through. But again, that was all the time. But it weren't just off. Now it weren't just off my mum. It was off people who were like 17, 18-year-old, and they're finding it funny to do things like, oh, watch this, like Junior, because my family name is Junior. Yeah. So everyone knows me as Carl, but my family name is Junior. So if I go to my dad's, he's like, hi, Jew. Like Jordan calls me Jew. Yeah. Like most of the people who know me call me Junior in the sort of like family thing. So Junior, come here, come over, bam, just boot me for no reason, just to see me fly across the room type of thing. I'm just stood there thinking, what a fucking cunt. And this Lee Houghton used to do it all the time. And I remember the year, it was when East 17 had just brought that Christmas tune out, Stay Another Day.
Yeah.
And it'd been, for years, at least 2 years, he'd been fucking doing shit like that, torturing me and fucking just when he walked past me, just a little whack. Like, not to the point where he was just a fucking cunt. Like, and again, I was about Callum's age, maybe a little bit younger. Walked past me, bam, whacked me for no reason. Oh, do us a favour, pass me that. Yeah, no worries. I'll go and get him. Whack. Fucking, I've just passed you your fucking magazine or whatever. I'll just pass you your cigs. So I used to do it all the time. And then the Christmas when E17 come out and that thing, I only remember it because I remember him sat in front of the telly and he was bawling his eyes out. His mum, his sister, and his sister's kid left the Christmas tree lights on one night and it went up in blaze and they all died in a house fire. Yeah. And I remember I was sat like on the couch and he was sat there, he was crying his eyes out. I was thinking, fucking good.
Karma, isn't it?
At that point, I know when I was saying my happy memories, that was one of my happiest memories. Thinking you fucking deserve that. Like they don't, but you do. I'm glad you're going through that. You cunt.
Yeah. And in your head, it's been right. Like looking at it retrospectively, you're like, oh, that's 3 years of people who've died. But to him, it's like you fucking cunt.
Yeah. I was sat there honestly. At that point in my life. That was the happiest I've ever been. Just sat there thinking, ha. And everyone else is like all the Danny Turner, my mum, and all the others, Ado and everyone that was all around him, like sort of consoling him. I'm sat on the couch like I was a fucking like I had the biggest dick in the world. I was just like
you just got a PlayStation.
Yeah, honestly, I was just like I didn't say it out loud because I knew I'd get my head kicked in, but I was like, good. Everything you've done to me. I'm glad you're going through this. I'm not glad for his family because like now retrospect, like you said, but. At the time, I was just thinking, and he was sat there and, baby, if you're going over, just stay another day. And I was like, fucking get in, like, honestly, like, it was meant, I was skipping to school the next day, like, I was so happy. And then, obviously, and then afterwards, the torture started. But every time, I just thought, it's all right, your mum's dead, your family's dead, like, you might be kicking fuck out of me, but I can ring my dad later on and tell him all about it, you can't ring yours. Like, I was, honestly, even as a kid, I was having them weird thoughts that like you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be sat there as a kid thinking.
But as you say,
I'm glad your family's dead.
When you've grown up, it's the thing.
Yeah,
that's been around
you got no empathy and all that, and you don't have the sort of you've not been nurtured to have the right emotions.
Yeah.
So then you only really sort of bask in what should be glory, but it's like. What was a fucking horrible. I can't imagine like my family dying in a fire just before Christmas, and knowing that even now when that song comes on, I sit there smiling to myself. So this Christmas, that's going to come on, that song, because it always does. And I sit there even now,
associating that with,
and I think, remember that cunt. And it's something that it'll always be there now because it's been ingrained for so long. And I just think, remember that cunt.
It's just every time I'll hear it, I'll be like, oh,
it's mad. It's something that I've even tried to listen to it and attach other, because you attach emotions to different things. Yeah. I've tried to attach other emotions to it, but I can't because it's just like I just remember that was at that point, which is when you say it now as an adult and again as a parent. What a shit existence that's your happiest memory up until that point, like that somebody else's family perished in a fire. Like I was fucking over the moon. It was weird, but it was just one of them where I thought if there is a God, he's giving me one back there. He's like, that's one to you, mate. But it's mad. It was but yeah, Hull was like that a lot. It was disgusting. We had again, there was a lot of brothels, there was a lot of prostitution, there was a lot of... She had the police working with her, so the police would come and say, right, this is going down on that date, so you need people in this... Like, it just got... It was mad. It was like... Looking back now, it was like a movie. Yeah. And it was just... We was involved in everything, so I remember, like I say, the Christmases, it was always waking up in hospital, like, through one reason or another. I remember one Christmas we lived above a shop. This is how... They used to do ram raids on shops.
Motion detected at the door.
They used to do ram raids on shops, my brother and all his mates. And we lived above his shop on Greenwich Ave. And they ram raided the shop beneath us. Right. We had to walk up the stairs of the shop to get to our... It was a flat, but it had 2 floors, if that makes sense. I know what you mean. So... But at the time, like, car crime was massive. Even at that age, I was into sort of going robbing cars with him and stuff and nicking motorbikes. And I remember where the Humber Bridge is, there was a little shop, me and my brother. I can't remember who the other person was. We ended up robbing the shop. And there was just, like, loads of... For months, we just had a fridge full of flakes, the chocolate. Because that's all they had.
Away, yeah.
And anything we seen, we just rob.
Yeah.
To the point, I'll go into another story in a minute about me and our Jordan, but we just used to steal everything, and that's how we got by because we weren't being fed.
Yeah.
So to eat, you had to steal. So whether it's
very nutritional diet that, off late.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Yeah, it's mad. You just had to steal
Yeah.
everything, and even as a young age. But what she was doing, she was sort of priming me and Jordan then to go into that way of life because obviously Lee was onto his stuff and he was getting sort of arrested more and more because obviously when you're on stuff, you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're robbing things, robbing cars and all that. There was a lot of it going on. There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of...
It's like prep, isn't it?
You're just prepping them to sort of take over from the next lot. So it's not grooming in the sense that sort of like sexual grooming, but grooming to become that way of life. And then we was sort of like we just had to steal all the time. So there was once where me and Jordan, I think our whole primary school, when we moved to my dad's, our whole primary school attendance was like 22% or something like that. From preschool to starting secondary school was like 22%. So I got to my dad's, I could hardly read and write. I was like 11, 10. Couldn't do anything, but you didn't need to because you didn't need to be like reading and writing. You didn't need to be good at school because you were just going out robbing what you needed. You didn't it was so easy. There used to be
it's survival of the fittest sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
and it was a case of people around you just go missing. I remember when one of the lads, Paul Butler, he got stabbed. They went ice skating in Hull Ice Rink. He got stabbed. None of us were even... Was it Paul or Dave? Dave Butler got stabbed. It was just a normal thing. We're just like, Dave got stabbed last night. He's dead. I can't remember if he died or not. I think he did die.
It's mental, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, and it was just a normal thing. I remember when we was living in Hull, and some lad, he was only our age. He weren't involved in all that. His parents weren't involved in all that, but he got run over by a bus and died.
Right.
I think he's called Mark Foster, and it was just one of them things. Again, he died. Everyone else was sort of lying in the streets to mourn him and stuff. Me and Jordan was upstairs on the SNES. We had a lot of help in Hull. So my Auntie Pat did a lot for us.
Yeah.
My cousins Kelly, Vicky, and Gemma. I don't really speak to many of my family in Hull because we went to Hull Fair in October. Me, Gemma, and the kids, Callum and her two. We went to Hull Fair. We was meant to be meeting up with Kelly and her family and stuff, but my Auntie Pat had just been taken into hospital into sort of intensive care, so we just went and sort of come back. But it's weird, even now, 26 years on, when we was going into Hull and I seen Hull Hospital, I went dead quiet and I sort of like went into a bit of a recluse because of all the memories. Because I was like, fuck it. The first thing I said when we was going into Hull, I went, fucking hell. I said, I had 4 Christmas mornings in there. And then a few memories come back and I was like, fuck me. Like,
maybe that you'd suppressed or something like that.
That obviously you just bury them and you don't need to deal with them. It's only because you'd seen something that brought it flashback and I was like, fucking hell. And then Gemma was like, you all right? I said, yeah. I said, I'll be sound. I said, I just want to get to the fair now. Because Hull, have you ever been to Hull Fair?
No, man.
It's Europe's biggest fairground.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I got a booking for it in 2015.
Yeah.
And then the day before, they cancelled. I'm not
really
sure what
good.
it was about. I think it was 2015 or 2014, 2015. I got a booking for Hull Fair, and I was like, when I heard what it was, I was like, I'm not really into this. It's just gonna be
you'd
like
love
thing.
it.
And then somebody told me actually what it was.
Yeah.
And it's like big fucking
Huge,
big
mate.
do. Yeah,
You'd need to go. It's on for a week. It's like from the 7th to the 14th of October every year.
Yeah.
And you'd need to go every night to go on everything.
Yeah.
It's too big to just go for one night. We only did one night, but obviously because we've got school and everything for the kids. But it took me back to the emotion of what I had then. So I sort of went into a little bit of recluse, a little bit. Obviously Gemma, she's with me every day, and she was like, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah." So I just want to get on some rides and that now. And she could tell straight away that it was affecting me a little bit. Yeah. So I don't really bother with anyone from Hull. From that much at all, to be fair. Just no time for I haven't got any good memories of it. It was 4 years of my life or 5 years, however long it was, and every single moment of it was all used fucking
It's not good, is it?
weird fucking old guys wanking in front of me and shit. Like, you just think, nah, I'm not fucking, I'm not, I don't need to be there for anything.
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I'll go off record with that in a minute. But yeah, I don't really bother with it. So even to the point now, like, my eldest brother, my youngest brother live in Hull. I just got no relationship with them. Jordan went to my eldest brother's wedding last year or the year before. I didn't even go because I just thought I've just no time for anybody in Hull. It's just a part of my life that
It's been and gone.
it was
and you just
there
gotta leave it
and
there.
it's gone. Leave it where it is, because opening it up doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, not
apart
good
from
purpose
negative.
anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
brings back negative vibes, and it puts me into a position where it could go either way, type of thing, and I'm not willing to put myself or my loved ones
Through it.
through that by me, like, having a relationship with someone that I don't need to have. Like, yeah, he's my brother. Yeah, we came from the same person. Yeah, I've got cousins. Yeah, I've got aunties. Yeah, I've got uncles and all that. But again, if you ain't bringing nothing to the table,
Yeah.
you're not going to be sat here eating from it either. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of them.
So sort of moving forward now, how did the whole Bolton thing come along? Like,
So my dad, again, 535-827, we was ringing it almost daily, reversing charges to my grandma.
Yeah.
And by this time, my dad had moved back to Bolton to be closer to home, because he knew that obviously if we're going to be reversing charges every day, there's no point in reversing charges to my grandma and then her having to ring my dad in London. He may as well be on the other end of the phone and hear it from the horse's mouth, type of thing. So we got told at this point that my dad had died. She saw that we'd stop asking for him. She said, he's dead. There's nothing we can do. He's dead. You're never going to see him again. He died in London. But I'd been on the phone to him like 20 minutes before at the phone box. So I'd been reversing charges to him, and that was it. So I'm sat, my dad was like, don't tell her that you reverse the charges. Don't tell her that we're having these conversations. Don't.
yeah.
To protect yourself. If she knows that you're doing this, you'll get a one. I slipped up once. She were beating me and my brother up, Lee. And she was using a flip-flop.
Right.
So she's smacking us with it, and like pretending it hurt. She's gone out the room like, fucking daft bitch, and like thinking I got one over. She heard me say it, and she come running back up with a stiletto, because obviously the flip flop didn't hurt. It's just like fucking. It's like you might as well have hit me with a sock. She come running back up with a stiletto and proper put it on us then. So yeah, I should have waited a few more seconds before I called her a daft bitch. To be fair, but she was like going on. I said, I want my dad. She went, he's dead. I said, no, he's not. 535-827. She knew the number off by heart as well, because obviously she's always known it. I said, I speak to him every day, and she kicked fuck out of me, because obviously that was me having one over on her.
Yeah,
then it
she
was
didn't
like
like that,
yeah, no, she battered me, and to the point where even Lee was like, Mum, please stop, and usually we just sort of let him get on with it, because if Lee was getting beat up, at least it weren't me, type of thing. And even as a brother, you're like, I'd rather it be him than me. And so you just sort of sit there and keep your mouth shut. But even he was like trying to pull her off, saying, Mum, stop. But she was fucking going to town on us, because obviously she knew that I'd had one over on her, type of thing. So she was kicking fuck out of me. I remember afterwards I thought, fuck me, that one was bad. Like them long metal Hoover pipes, she was fucking whacking me with them. Kneeing me, she weren't just like smacking. She was going in like a UFC.
Fighter.
Yeah, she was like fucking kneeing me. She used to headbutt you, and she was fucking savage, man. But the thing is, she's only 5'2". She's only small, but a mentality. She was. I've seen literally seen grown men.
Yeah.
See her and like big guys, like big fucking sprint. See her and think, fuck, Angela's there, run, and just run, and it's like fucking hell. Mad. Crazy. But yeah, she proper put the boot in, so I had to ring my dad a few days after, because I grounded them. Rang him. She said, everything alright? I said, I've got a fat lip, a black eye, I've got a few bumps in my head. I said, I told her that I've been speaking to her, so she battered me. He's like, fucking hell, mate, you can't be doing that. She'll end up fucking killing you. So at this point, he's building up his dossier to the social services. So he was coming to Hull. He was coming to Hull and back. It's the only fools and horses.
Yeah.
He was coming to Hull and back every other weekend.
That's what I'm imagining the fucking the accent like stuff.
Yeah,
the woman
that's what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was coming to Hull and back every other weekend. And then he was borrowing my sister. She passed away now, so he was borrowing her mum's car to come on a Friday, pick us up, take us back to Bolton or Southport, because my sister lived in Southport, and then on a Sunday take us back again. And he used to he'd take us to like Southport or Blackpool. Everything. Me and Jordan would be robbing everything. Go to Blackpool. Honestly, we were such good thieves. It's mad, like something to be not something to be proud of. But we go to Blackpool and we say, Dad, do you want a lighter? So yeah, nice one. So I'm thinking I'm just going to go in shopping, but I come out with pockets full. And then obviously my sisters, brothers and sisters used to come with us. So they're another serious family. Bobby, Malcolm and Gurley and Shadrach, they come with us and we just terrorise. But what my dad used to do, he was clever. He'd say, right, because all we used to do is fight. Like it's all we knew. We weren't any good at drawing pictures, even then playing football and nothing like that. We didn't know any of that because we never got to do it. The only thing we got to do was fight, and because we did receive so many kickings, we was fucking good at it. So it was like not even a case of being dead hard. It's just I knew I'd outlast you because I'm used to getting battered off adults. Yeah. So in the end, I'll end up winning because I can take more punishment than anyone else my age. So we ended up like being really, really violent, me and Arjon. Not really as much to each other. We did have quite a few good scraps, which was funny, but it was always us against everyone else. And then so what my dad would do is when he'd come and pick us up on the weekend, like every other week, he'd take us to Southport. Because my dad's a proper massive United fan. Yeah. So this is the mindset. He'd first of all say, if you're going to fight with people, you're not doing it in Bolton because eventually you're going to live in Bolton and you're going to create too many enemies. Yeah. Eventually, you're going to do so much to someone when they're 10. When they're 15, 17, 18, they're going to find you and they're going to do you back. So what I'll do is I'll take you to Southport. There's loads of Scousers in Southport. So you can do them instead because my dad's a proper United fan. Yeah. So he's like, go and do a load of Scousers. He said, because even when you're battering a Scouser, they make this funny noise when you're beating them up and that. So I was like, fucking, so like, what he was doing though, he was just getting it all out of our system. Yeah. So at the time we was like, oh, Dad's ace, he's taking us to Funland. You know, have you ever been to Southport?
No, but I know what you're on about, yeah.
Funland at the front. We got banned. We was the only kids to ever have a lifetime ban from Funland. Because he used to take us every other week. So we used to batter people and then just throw them in the ball pool and put loads of balls over them and that. And then that was it. I was fucking mad. Like, thinking back to it now, we was savages. Like, me and Jordan we were fucking...
Yeah, but it was just
disturbed. We were so disturbed, and that was just our way of life. Like, even in Bolton, we'd have so many different fights and everything, and it was just a case of what else do we fucking know? Like that's exactly, it. And then when we finally moved in with my dad, so this went on for a couple of years. The same sort of routine. Dad come in every other week, picking us up, bringing us back to either Bolton or we'd go and watch my dad play football, and then it'd sort of start implementing certain rules, not rules as such, but sort of, right, when we go to Funland, I don't want any fights this time. Yeah. Just this once. If you don't fight with anyone, what we'll do, we'll take you on the Ferris wheel and we'll do this and we'll do that. So he'd slowly start building it in.
It's a normality then, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
so like... he's teaching us how to be kids. Yeah. So it'd be like, right, I'll tell you what we'll do. I said, Dad, can I have that hat? Yeah, we can, but I really want a coffee. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go to Funland. You two go and play in there. I'm going to have a coffee. Don't fight with anyone. Yeah. While I'm having my coffee, and then I'll go and get you that hat. All right, and so we'd just be playing normal, and then we'd get the urge to, but then we were like, no, because I want that hat. And then knowing that even when we went back to Hull, either Lee or my brothers and that would take it off us anyway.
What a smart guy though, eh?
Oh, mate, super intelligent. Yeah. Like, literally, not many people can hold a torch to him. Like when it comes to his way of,
it's intellectual, really intellectual. Yeah,
on a next level. Like it was so astounding. Like. To look back as a parent now, all I do is I just copy what he did with me and Jordan. Yeah. Like as a parent, everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a good dad." I'm not. I just copy what he did. He's a good dad. I'm just a good imitator. Yeah. That's all I do. I just copy. Right. What would Dad have done? Right, Callum. This is your punishment for that. And even now, like so, Callum, Pasha, and Harley, who are Gemma's two, little siblings. They'll argue. They'll because obviously we all live together. Yeah. They'll argue. They'll fight. So what my dad used to do is when me and Jordan used to go at it, we used to proper scrap. Like it was like a barroom brawl. We'd be like again biting each other head, but because that's how we knew to fight. Because that's what we used to be on the receiving end of. So my dad would sit like he'd have his chair there. He'd sit me on that side, sit Jordan on that side. He'd be, right, you're in court now. I'm the judge. I'm the jury. You'll speak and then you'll speak. If you speak and you forget something, and he brings it up, that's your fault for not remembering. So when it's your turn, you make sure you bring everything, and I'll decide who's guilty and who gets the punishment. So I do that now with like without realising it.
Subconsciously.
I'll be like, Callum, right, you speak. Pasha, then you speak. Harley, then you speak.
Yeah.
If he mentions something that you didn't mention, I'm going to wonder why you forgot to tell me that, why you didn't tell me. So that makes me think that you're hiding something. So then you get the full story.
Yeah.
Because obviously no one wants to be in any more trouble.
Yeah.
So then that's what he used to do. And then, yeah, it was funny, man. We used to have some right good brawls, me and Jordan, with each other. But then obviously you learn to respect each other a lot more anyway. Because then you know when it is us two against the world, it's like I know he's got my back, and I've got it. Like I know what he can take and everything. So it was good. So he used to take us to Southport and that.
Yeah.
And then that went on, and then one Christmas he was meant to be having us on Boxing Day for my birthday, and then bringing us back on the 30th the next day.
Yeah.
And he's rang us, and my mum said, "Oh, yeah, tell him to pick you up from school on the Friday, and then he can tell him to pick you up from Auntie Pat's or whatever on the Friday, and then bring you back on the 30th." And that's yeah, sound. He said, "Oh, do me." So she said, "Oh, ask him if he's dropping the court case for custody." So I said, "Oh, Dad, like Mum wants to know if you're dropping the court case for custody." "No, Mum, he's not. He's not dropping it. He said he'll be in court on the 12th of January, whatever it is." She went, "Right, well, tell him you're not going this Christmas then." So I was like, "Oh, Dad, Mum said we're not coming this Christmas." He was like, "Listen, mate, tell your brother I love you both. I really want to see you, but I'm not dropping this court case because you deserve better than what you've got. So I'm not going to see you this Christmas. I'm not going to see you on your birthday.
But it'll be worth it in Christmas.
It'll be worth it in the years to come." And then we ended up that Christmas, a few days before Christmas, some woman, because we had to walk up the shop's stairs to get to our flat, some woman stopped me and she went, "Are you going up to that flat there?" I said, "Yeah." She went, "They stole my car for my disabled child, and you can tell them all we're coming for you." "Yeah, all right, love," because we used to get threatened all the time, so we didn't think nothing of it. And then on Christmas Eve, my mum had gone to London. There was me, Lee, Jordan, Joel, and a few of Lee's mates, and obviously they were all smacked off the tits. We was all just sort of laying in bed about 3 o'clock in the morning. Door gets booted open, a lot of guys come in, start fucking just laying into everyone. I think the only people who, even our Joel would have been 1, maybe 2. Someone slapped him, told him to shut the fuck up. Because they'd robbed this disabled kid's car, the mum's car, obviously, but it was for the disabled kid. It had been converted so that it was all suited for this kid. So obviously there was the whole family was in there. We're all in there. We got the shit kicked out of us. So obviously then one of the neighbours has heard the commotion, rang the police and the ambulance, and that. So we got took to fucking Christmas morning, waking up in hospital, thinking like, "Fuck me, that was mad." Like not thinking it was weird, just thinking, "Fucking hell, that was a bit strange." Like, but it was even Joel, he was a baby. He was crying his eyes out because obviously you wake up to screaming and shouting. Yeah. A few days before, I nicked this clay cat out of someone's garden. Right. I gave it to my mum as a present, and I can't remember the lad's name. He was getting his head kicked in on the floor, and whoever it was, they grabbed this clay cat. It was fucking heavy. Picked it up and launched it. Hit him in the ribs and broke about 4 of his ribs. And he made this noise that I've never heard from a person before. He just squealed like in pain. Yeah. It was just, I was like, fuck me.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, just like it was mad. But then in the middle of all that, there's also all the stuff that like my mum's having to, she's wanting then to take over Hull, so she's going against all the other dealers there. She's got the yardies coming up from London to fucking help her take over Hull, but then with a plot to sort of overthrow her when she's took over Hull, we'll then just send someone up. So there was fucking loads of things like Joel's dad, he was doing 13 years for post office robbery. Lee's dad, he was just never about. He was sort of every couple of years he'd show up and that was it, that type of thing. But it was just mad, man. It was chaos, just constant like chaos, and it was, you'd never have a day where you just sat chilling. It was always something where it was just mad.
Something,
Yeah, it was just fucking pandemonium.
So you moved over to Bolton, and you obviously you've just told me about the court thing with your dad, and then that's how you implement it and stuff like that. You're starting to get a normal life away from that. Is that you like disconnected from your mum completely now?
Yeah. So 1996 we moved up here, and then she'd gone down to London for something. She'd moved back to London. And then we went one weekend, and then she made me ring my dad in the morning. Oh no, she made me ring my dad at night or in the morning, I can't remember, and say, you need to send some money, or I'm taking them to social services.
Right, I see.
Or they're going into care, because we was constantly in and out of care. In thinking, so my dad was like, hang on, no, you don't do that. They live with me now.
Yeah.
You're not fucking putting them in care. So she was like, well, it's either that or you come and get them. And he was like, I only dropped him off last night. What the fuck? Why didn't you tell me last night you needed money? I've got the train back to Bolton now. So obviously London to Bolton is a bit of a distance. So he's thinking worst case scenario. So he's rang Jasmine's mum, my sister Jasmine. He rang her mum, Pat, and said, I need the car. Like, I need you to get here now. I need to get to London. So Pat's come from Southport to Bolton. My dad's fucking filled the tank, bombed it to London. Don't know how he got there that quick, because it was fast. But he must have been doing
like serious
70.
A fast 70.
Yeah, he was in a very fast 70, but he got from Bolton to Hull in no time. And that it was like one of them, is it Manta or Mazda? It was a fast car anyway.
Yeah.
And I remember not knowing the conversation that Mum had with my dad, and he just turned up, grabbed me and Jordan, got us in the car and drove back.
Yeah.
And obviously at the time, even though I knew it was better to be with my dad, I still wanted to be a bit of time with Mum. So I was like, I fucking hate you, Dad. Like, and it was like, when you're older, you'll understand. And that's the only word that we spoke all the way back to but I think I fell asleep in, because it was dark. And that was that, like, but yeah, after that, I think that was the last time I seen her until 2001, when we sort of bumped into each other by chance. But then after that, I've never had anything to do with her. Just not fucking. It was weird. I went visiting after me and Jordan moved in with my dad.
Yeah.
Joel Lee got sent to prison. Joel was being neglected to fuck. Social services went round one day, and he was eating the foam out of the back of a couch.
Wow.
Just to feed himself, like.
Yeah.
And he was on his own. There was no one in. There's fucking pipes and needles and everything all around the place. So he got took off her.
Yeah.
And my auntie Pat said, well, I'll have him. Like, he can come and live with me.
Yeah.
So he's gone from London to Hull. Lived with my auntie Pat. Which caused fucking chaos, because obviously my mum and Pat have never been close anyway. So then for her to then have her child, it caused fucking chaos. So I've gone to Hull around about 2001. I think I'd just left school, or I was about to leave school. And we were just walking down the road. My mum must have moved back to... I didn't know any of this. Lee was on my mum's side heavily, because obviously she was feeding his fucking addiction and that. And we were just walking through town. And as I'm walking through town, I'm buzzing, because I'd not seen Joel for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Like all through secondary school, I'd not seen him. So with it, because me and Joel have got the same birthday as well. They're 9 years apart, but same birthday.
Right.
So I was buzzing to be sort of my little brother, not seen him for ages and everything. So gone to Hull, walking through town, and then some woman's come flying past on a bike and tried to grab him. So I've like pulled him, like in natural reaction, pulled him. What the fuck's going on? So then she's screaming, this woman's screaming at me, Auntie Pat, and fucking, give me my boy back and all that. So I didn't know it was her at the time.
Did you unrecognisable, was she?
Yeah, the drugs had just ruined her. Like,
right, okay.
You wouldn't have known. Like, it was only because they had seen her about why they knew who it was.
Yeah.
But I'd not seen her since 96 till 2001, and during that time the drugs had just took its toll massively.
Right.
So she's trying to grab... I've got hold of Joel's one arm, and she's got hold of his other arm. She's trying to pull him, so I'm like, fucking... So I said to my cousin Kelly, what the fuck's going on? I want my son, blah, blah, blah. So even when she was saying that, it wasn't... The penny wasn't dropping.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, wow, what's going on? Like, and then my auntie Pat went, you want your son? That's your other fucking son. Because obviously by then I'd gone from 10 to leaving school. I was like big, broad, and that was that. So she's like looked, and she was like, Junior, oh darling, come here. So she come over. I just like not slapped her, but just sort of slapped her to push her away. And then I think it was Kelly, my cousin, who just sort of grabbed Joel and just sort of pulled me into this cafe. And then I could feel like the shakes and everything. I was fuming because I've always said to myself, when I'm an adult, if I ever see her, I'll just give her one dig back and just say, that's for all the memories. Yeah. That's for all the fucking, just one punch back. And just say, that's for everything. But I thought I'll put enough into that one punch that it'll release everything that I've ever felt like bad. I never got the fucking chance. Yeah. So I was fuming with Kelly for that. Because obviously at the time I was thinking, right, this is my chance now. Because obviously I was going into my sort of 15, 16, 17, yeah. And I knew that I had the power to do it then. And it was the right time. Like if I seen her now, I couldn't do it because she's in 60s or whatever. I'd probably kill her now. But at that time, that was always my thing. Like if you ever seen her, I'd just love to give her one fucking dig back. There's like three, maybe 4 people on the planet who are in that category, and I'd still say if I ever bumped into them, I'd still do it just because of everything that I went through. That's my release, but I'll never get that release because they're too old now. Like they've been doing she's been doing drugs for. Well, I'm 37, so
all of your life.
Really, she's been doing drugs for a good 40 years, but.
But it's so. Do you know where she's at now? Like,
no idea.
No idea.
No. I believe somewhere in London.
And you're just happy that's it. That's that.
Yeah,
one,
she's dead to me. You know, it's the way that I explain it to people is who go out to raves and that. She's someone I met in the bogs in a club.
Yeah.
You know, your best friend for that night in the bogs, and you never see him again. You never hear from him again. Just someone I used to know. Just someone who I had the unfortunate pleasure of knowing and experiencing a part of my life with. The biggest unfortunate part is that period of time with her was the period that shaped me for the rest of my fucking life. So the lasting effects, knowing what she took out of me, was just fucking ridiculous. Like like I say, I don't get how anybody. Hitler didn't do to Jews what she did to us. He just killed them. She fucking tortured us, like mentally, physically, emotionally,
I don't
everywhere.
think anyone who's watching this right now would are on her side in any way.
Yeah, she just.
And I don't think it's one of these things you're just telling your side of the story and she's got her all blurred lines.
Yeah, and I'd be there when I was getting a bit older. That fucking bitch dad, and he'd say, we'll have a conversation when you're older. And he's always said that. And even now,
you're 37, we'll have that conversation when you're older.
Even now, like, we used to sit up and talk till like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to have school, get up for school at 7. We'd sit up talking, because he was like the counsellor. He just wanted us to talk and talk and talk and just get it all off our chest. And
it's
then,
a good thing to have.
Yeah, we moved to Bolton, and then it was kind of good for me that I was starting secondary school because I was small. I was surrounded by everyone that was bigger. Seeing this woman called Bernie.
Yeah.
She had 2 daughters, Alison and Charlene. And weirdly enough, Bernie lived next door to, both Woodies, MCs.
Yeah.
Lived next door to Woodies.
All right.
So when we were growing up, Bob Woods and all that, we grew up sort of next door to him and that, because we was always there. And I went to school literally at the end of their street. I went to Withings. Yeah. So that's how I sort of started meeting everyone. We lived on one side of Bolton, but I went to school on the other side of Bolton where my grandma lived. So like I say, my grandma, fucking diamond of a woman, she helped us out so much.
Yeah.
And it was just the case of like we moved to Bolton then, and he slowly started like implementing. Well, this is how you should be. I remember once we used to be. So we'd be in the car, right, coming back from Hull. My dad would be in the fast lane, doing, again, a very fast 70. Yeah. I'd be hanging, my feet would be on the inside of the car, my arse would be here, I'd be holding Jordan over the roof of the car, and he'd be on that side of, like, hanging out of that window, we'd be holding each other. Pat used to work at a Roundtree's factory in Southport, so she used to bring her these big fucking bin bags of Jolly Ranchers and Chewits and all them. We couldn't eat them all, so we were just launching them at cars down the motorway. So I'm literally hanging over the car, sat on the window right down, sat on the window, hanging over it, holding on to Jordan's hand so he didn't fall. He's holding on to my hand so I didn't fall. Both our legs like tucked right into the thing to stop us from falling backwards. Launching Jolly Ranchers at cars, and she's on the fucking M62 doing like fucking 80, 90 mile an hour. My dad used to be sat there like, he must have been thinking, what the fuck am I going to do with these kids?
Yeah. And
then we've done it once. We was coming round the corner in Bolton, and I launched this Jolly Rancher at a car. A police car was coming the other way, so it flashed us. pulled us over. And then that was the last time we ever... No, it weren't the last time we ever did it. We used to go out into the country and do it. So I'll tell you funny stories in a bit about my dad's mate, Harvey. Fucking hell, what a guy. He's another one that shaped me in such a good way. But it's the last time we did it with just my dad, because the police come out and my dad got out the car. He's gone over to him and said, listen, mate, I'm stuck with two fucking feral kids here. He said, like, they've been through so much. He said, I don't know if you're able to do it, but radio over and just... ask them about Angela Chapman. That's their mum. Like, ask them, Angela Chapman from Hull. You'll see what they've been through. So the guys, like, my dad was fucking... It still is. My dad's black, 6 foot, dreadlocks.
He still is.
Yeah, well, I know he said he was black, but he still is. You know what I mean? He's not Michael Jackson, like. But my dad's black, 6 foot, so he's never got on with the police too well, to be fair. And obviously, he's been inside a time, and he's been arrested, and there's been an ongoing sort of thing with the police, especially with black people as well.
Yeah.
For a copper to sort of put his hand on my dad's shoulder and say, "Good luck with it all," like he must have said, like, listen, these kids have been through some shit. I know he shouldn't be launching Jolly Ranchers at cars going past, but what the fuck can I do? I'm in a marathon, not a sprint. Like, for me to get them to stop doing that, it's going to take years for me to get them to stop. So you might end up knowing these kids a little bit over the next few years, but I'll get them where they need to be, type of thing. So the guy's like, good luck to you. And then he come in the car and he pretended it was more serious. So he was like, I just nearly got arrested then. We nearly lost our house. So I was like, he said, you know, you're going to end up going back to your mum. If I get arrested, there's no one else here to have you. You're going to go back to your mum. So after that, I was like, fuck that. And then that was lesson 1, right? Stop throwing things out of cars in public places.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was...
Moving on then, so from there, you're sort of starting to grow up. You said your dad plays football.
Yeah.
So like, is this the point where you and Jordan are getting into football?
Yeah, so Jordan was more into it initially than me, which is probably why he's better, which I don't like saying. But yeah, he's sick, our Jordan. So he used to take us... What my dad used to... He knew that we had all these years of pent-up energy. Yeah. And we were just like... you
just need burnt out, don't you, really?
Yeah, we just needed to burn it all out. So every single night we used to walk down the back of the train tracks and onto this field, and we'd play football. So he'd say, right, you're going in and out of the corners. He'd tie this bag, like a big sports bag, to the top corner. So you go in and out the corners, you run with the ball, you put it into that top corner, in and out the corners. And I've seen Jordan score that goal so many fucking times since. Taking players on, cut inside into the top corner. Yeah. And anyone who's played with our Jordan will know that's where, he's done it so many times, and that's what we did every single night. And then this guy called John Kelly, Irish John, what a guy. He was walking past Queen's Park, he's seen us, he comes over, introduces himself. Because my dad used to referee rounders as well, because my Auntie Karen used to play rounders for the West Indian Centre. So my dad used to ref, because it was all like the West Indian Centre was where, like, there was me. I'm sure Roach used to go there as well, but there's all the West Indians, so all the Jamaican families would, all the elders would be there playing dominoes, and then my dad's generation, so like my Auntie Karen and my dad and all that generation would be there just sort of having a few drinks and a few spliffs and that, and then the kids would all grow up together as well. So we'd all be sort of continuing the trends on moving forward. So like all the battles and everything, like the battles were a family, so Stu Battle and everyone who used to play for the same team as my dad, their kids to be on. So we all grew up together, knowing each other. Like, so Tommy Battle and everyone would all grow up like, oh yeah, it's happening. And then John Kelly had seen us playing football and said, oh, you should come along to Oxford Grove. So I was like, I just play at school and stuff. I'm not really that fussed. And my dad took Jordan down to Oxford Grove. I think his first game he scored 4. And then he just never stopped scoring since. Like, he's just ridiculous. He's just a freak in front of goal.
Just want to ask you as well, like, while we're like sort of on the subject, with regards to, say, football or even MCing or anything, do you find it a competitive thing with Jordan?
Nah. No. Football, I think we did. But even that.
Do you find that he got better because he was trying to match you, and then you try and get better to match him, or?
Nah, I think what it is. I wanted to be the best out of all my mates.
Yeah.
Jordan wanted to be the best.
Full stop.
Yeah. So as long as I was the best in whatever team I was playing for, as long as I was the best in whatever group of mates I was playing with, I was happy being the big fish in the little pond. Jordan wanted to be the blue whale.
Yeah.
In the little pond. Like, he wanted to be the biggest fucking thing. Yeah. So his drive so much higher, not just than mine, than I think most people I know.
Yeah.
If he sets his mind on something, he perfects the craft, which is why it's mad. It's mad how talented he is when he sets his mind to it. He must have fucking autism or Asperger's or something like that, because when he sets his mind on something, he is unreal. Yeah, and he's football. He's again, I don't know anybody as good as him that hasn't made it professional.
Yeah.
MCing, hosting, whichever you want to class him as at the minute. Again, I'll go back to my comment earlier on. I think between him and Finchy is sort of battling for the top one. I think top two at Jordan and Finchy in terms of all round.
Oh, yeah.
So as much as I respect Farrell, and for me, Farrell is the best host.
Yeah.
If you get Farrell on stage at Reminisce or something like that, there's no one better.
Yeah.
But, and he'll say this himself, he's not going to be in, Connie Club spitting bars. It's never been his thing. He's got his little 16s and stuff because he was mainly brought up on Zone and stuff like that. So but in terms of all-rounder, you can't look past Jordan and Finchy for me. So I think with there's competition between us. So when we played for the same teams, like we had a couple of seasons where we both played. My dad ran the team, and me and Jordan was playing up front, and we scored something like 140 goals between us that season. Yeah. And it was just a kid. But I love to see him do well, and he loves to see me do well, and we bring out that sort of.
Like friendly competition. I'm not talking about he's doing this, I'm doing that. Like say you'd score, and you're realistically, right, Jordan, I'm gonna score one more than you. Then
So what we'd do, Jordan finishing wise, I wouldn't ever try and compete with him in terms of goal scoring. Yeah. So what I'd do, he'd score 4, but I'd rainbow flick 3 people, and I'd make sure that like I'd do other things that he might not do. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't say I wouldn't. I don't think I could compete with him in terms of goal scoring. We was both fast as fuck, so there's not many people who could keep up with us on a pitch or even just a flat out sprint. There was always a sort of competition in terms of right, who's going to be the one that everyone talks about in terms of on the pitch or whatever. But then I think as when we started MCing, so I think I'm pretty sure I gave him his first gig for Gravity. When me and Ad Walker was doing Gravity, I dragged him along to... He was doing Harmony, so he got into it because I started listening to the tapes, so like 2 Part 2, 17, 2 and 11 Part 3 and all them, and I was like really into it. But when we was growing up, none of us was really into, even though we had the tapes, was more into like So Solid Crew, Oxide and Neutrino, and the garage type of thing, because obviously the London background was more into that. So my first ever rhyme was over some track on disc 2 on Execute, Oxide and Neutrino. Right. And it was just, there was no bars on it, it was just the track, and I was writing the rhymes. In fact, no, it wasn't. My first ever rhyme, fucking hell, yeah. My first ever rhyme was when I was about 7. I was in London, and me and Lee wanted to form a band. My big brother wanted to form a band. And let me see if I can remember it now. We was watching... do you remember the really old film House Party with Kid and Play?
Class film.
And we wrote a thing saying... What was it now? This is the beer.
Really cheesy, like rap music as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, and we wrote a thing between us because my mum's mate got us a drum set, so I was like, right, that's it, I'm gonna be a band, and that was it. And the rhyme was something like, "This is the PLAY asking you, may I tell you about the day I picked up the microphone and pen and pad. These are the lyrics I wrote and said. Can you leave the guy you said you loved, hug, cherish and kiss? Because this bad boy here, you just missed." I can't remember the rest of it. I know that was it, but like, yeah, we wrote that because we was gonna be a rap band, me and Lee, because Jordan was too young. But yeah, I remember that, fucking hell. But my first proper rhyme where I wanted to actually perform in clubs, and that was it wasn't actually over bounce or donk as they say now, but it weren't actually over our genre. It was over Oxide and Neutrino, right? Because I was more writing along them things, because obviously with my story I couldn't relate to many people who were like, I was listening to like Avi, FEZ, Wizard.
It's a different style of what
now you can write bars and people can relate to it a little bit more. Back then it weren't like writing bars, it was just like little 16s or even 8s, just crowd hyping and freestyling and that. Freestyle, I've never been able to really freestyle that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just listening to them, and then it was just my mate Berg. He had some decks, so we used to get stoned, go to his house, he'd be on the decks, and then he'd say, "Go on, Drew, try and spit." So all I used to do was copy whatever Favell said.
Yeah, like a lot did.
Yeah, just copied whatever he said, and we used to do little tapes and start again, so we start the tape again. So I'd basically just be copying Wizard Avi and Favell, and just copying them over and over again. And then I started writing my own, and then it just sort of went from there. But I was writing it with Worthy, MC Worthy, and because our group was like, me and Worthy was really, really close friends when we were growing up, and then just sort of slowly but surely started writing more, and then I started doing it in Berg's bedroom, and then from his bedroom he was like, "Oh, we should go Stag's Head," and then the first night I went to Stag's Head, Roach was there,
right,
and it was when he was like, "Danger, danger, you're in my fucking," and like. I remember at first I thought he was called MC Danger because he kept saying it over and over again, danger, danger, but he weren't doing the full rhyme. I saw he must be called MC Danger because I didn't know him properly at that time. I was only 15, 16 or something like that. And then every Thursday, I think it was, every Tuesday or Thursday night, it used to be Stag's Head, and everyone used to go. It was rammed, and it was like you'd be buying a pint and a pill behind the bar.
Pint and 2 E's,
Big
please.
shout Leslie. Pint and a pill for behind the bar. But yeah, it was sick and crummy and that. Honestly, it was so good. But that's where I learned to sort of control my voice a little bit more and learn more. Like Crommy was mint. Crommy never really made it big, but he was an MC Robbie. He was another one, Robert Stevenson, and he used to say, when they're singing, don't MC. So you've just got to shut up because that's the song. Like when it stops singing, that's when you do your little bit. And he sort of taught me a lot. And then other people had come, and then it was fucking good. But yeah, Jordan's first gig was sort of in Stag's Head. He was doing the not the Blackout stuff. It was Harmony Youth Club, and then they started doing the Blackout things. I think at one point they had Matty Fisher, so double MC, Kurt Chadwick, Dowie's unbelievably talented lyrically. Fuck me, what a guy! Like lyrically, he's up there with the best that have ever done it for me. He's so sick on wordplay. Jordan
plays with words and that.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Jordan, Bam, Roach. There was quite. I never really went to Harmony, but it was mainly sort of Jordan's thing. And because I was a little bit older. The people that was going was a bit younger, and I felt sort of too old to be going to Harmony. Right. Which was fucking stupid because I could have been in Blackout if I'd have carried on going.
That's what I was
I could have earning a bit of money, like. But in my opinion, I just felt I was a bit because I was out getting pilled up and getting pissed and learning about fucking life. The younger lot was sort of going there from school as a sort of after school club more than seeing anything else sort of happening. So I was a little bit older. I didn't want to be that guy that hung around with Jordan's mates either. Like so he was like he went to school with Kurt with a lot of them. Yeah. So I was like, well, that's Jordan's set of mates. Like I'll do my own thing, and eventually we'll see what happens from it. But then when we started doing Gravity, I was saying to I think a few Blackouts had been done since there was a Blackout volume, like maybe 1 to 5 or whatever. Whenever Jordan started getting on, so I was saying to Walker because I used to work with Walker, and I was working at a window factory. And I used to have my Walkman on, and I used to just sit there emceeing to myself on my break because I didn't really know anyone in West Horton. Yeah. And I'm sat there emceeing to myself on my break, having a cig and stuff like that. And then he comes over, Walker, he said, "Do you MC?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I try. I'm not like mint at it." And then he went, he said, "Do you want to come mine after work?" He said, "We'll have a little bit of a mix and that." He said, "I'll get the mic out." He said, "Just have a little mix down if you want." I said, "Yeah, sound, let's go for it." Because Walker used to do all the old sanctuaries, so I knew who he was when he said, "Oh yeah, Adam Walker." I said, "Oh yeah, sound, I've heard you on the, like, people say your name on the tapes and that." So to me, it was like, fucking hell, it's Adam Walker. Everyone, FEZ knows his name, so he must be big, like, and because they all grew up together, they all went to the same school and all that, I think. So that's how me and Walker ended up sort of getting to know each other. And then we just formed a really good friendship, and to the point where we won't speak to each other much, but every couple of months I'll just drop a message. Yeah, it's happening, lad. You good? Like, and it's that sort of friendship where we're not there every day, but we're there when it matters.
Everyone's got them.
Yeah, and I think obviously, especially when kids come into it and everything, your time gets divided.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So from there, you've sort of like you've got this gravity thing going. And your first night started and stuff. Well, what was the idea behind it? Did you just want somewhere to out your perform, or was it what was it? Or were you?
It was just, to be fair, it was mainly Walker's idea, and I think at the time, your main MCs were Blackout were just starting to make moves.
Yeah.
So this is 2004. I've been doing it in like little places like Run With All and stuff like that. Like little places that where all your mates would just sort of get the decks and rig a mic up and that, and we do it. And then I got a little few bookings here and there, but there weren't anything serious. And I don't think
a nightclub or anything like that.
Yeah, there weren't anything like where I thought I was ever going to do anything serious. Not on like a BTID stage or anything like that. Well, they didn't have it then, but you know what I mean. Like on that scale, I didn't really think of it in that way. Walker just said like, "Oh, I fancy running a night." He said, "But it's a ball out doing it on your own." I said, "Well, I'll help you." Because at the time I was thinking, well, it's going to be a success because he's mates with Farrell, Avi, Guesty, and all the fucking legends. So I'm thinking, fucking hell, yeah, it's not a bad place to position yourself to like be in that. Even if, like I say, the first Gravity night we did, I think we had Farrell was DJing, we had Avi on, we had Paul EC, who were class at the time, Desire. Have I said Guesty? Guesty was on. I think EJ, Mad Hatter, Dave Shaw and Walker. So I was like, fucking hell, if I'm only gonna get better being around them people. It's like, you know, you become a product of your environment. They're not gonna lower themselves to get where I am. I've got to raise myself to get where they are. Yeah. And the first night, I must have said about 4 rhymes, like I was saying to you before. Avi was MCing. I'd only heard him on tapes before, and he was completely different to what I'd pictured him to be. Like, and I just remember watching him MC thinking, fuck it, I'm getting 30 quid for tonight. I'm sound. Like, it pays for my taxi home. I'm just going to learn off him and just watch him. Yeah. So I'm just watching him. And him and Paul, because Paul EC's got such a different style and a way of MCing. Yeah. So I thought, right, we'll just copy him. And I think at one point I was trying to blag Farrell to get on the mic, and he was like, no, I'm here to DJ, I'm not here to MC. Yeah. So I was like, fucking hell, I wanted to watch him and learn off him as well. But he won't get on. He can be quite stubborn, Farrell, when he wants to be, as everyone knows, who knows him well anyway. But I just remember watching Avi, and he was just on the mic for, it must have been about an hour and a half. And during that hour, usually if someone's on the mic for an hour and a half, someone at some point is going to think, fucking hell, it's dragging on a bit. Yeah. No one was. Everyone was up on the dance floor. Loving it, yeah. I was just sat there watching him thinking, fuck me, I'm shit. Like, compared to him, I'm so bad. Like, I need to up my game. We just started doing a bit more, and Walker sort of stuck with me. So we started having a few more nights, and it were mainly just sort of like, it were 2 mates running a night. We didn't really see it getting anywhere. Yeah. We just sort of thought, we get to perform and see where it goes, and then we ended up doing a few versus nights with Adrenaline. Yeah. With that's when we first met Arky, Duffy, Satster, and Angel, and a few others. And it was just like, I was just living the dream. I was just thinking, fucking hell, like, I know I'm nowhere near as good as he, because first time I heard Arky, I was mesmerised.
Yeah,
like,
he came with a completely different style from him.
Yeah, first time I heard him and Duffy came with a very similar style, but still very different to each other as well. Yeah. And I remember seeing them both, and I was like, fucking hell. Our Jordan said, these 2 lads, because Jordan was on the same night as me, he went, these 2 lads are coming tonight. He said, one of them, he said, Arky, he said, listen to him. He said, just listen to him. He said, if you don't do anything else, you just listen to him. He said, watch how he does it and everything. So I remember just watching him. I was thinking, fuck me.
Sitting when he's on stage as well. I mean, he does it so effortlessly. Yeah. Like, it doesn't even look like...
It don't look like he's trying. Yeah. Like, mentally, he's probably doing shopping lists in his head and that, but he's just... Oh, he's so good. Like, naturally so... His flow, he's freestyling, and he knows when to go hard, he knows when to sort of slow it down, he knows when to be a little bit giddy, and back then, he used to get... Not on it, but he used to like get involved with everyone as well. I don't know if he still does. I've not seen him out and about for years, but you related to him more because you'd see him a bit smashed. He was one of the lads. Yeah. Like you buy into what he was saying, and like I was walking home on Friday night. I knew that. I can't remember it all word for word now. I probably would if I went. I knew it word for word. I used to be like a proper little fanboy. I was working with him, and I was at the front of the stage chanting his rhymes back to him. And then yeah, I think he's an exceptional talent. Duffy as well. Duffy's got a mad thing, but yeah, we sort of got our Jordan involved. Had the few things with adrenaline. And then I just sort of I had a few little bits here and there, and I think I sort of had a few bookings. We did DNA, so I'd had a few bookings there. We did Battle of the Tribes,
right?
And we got the coach there, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, but I double dropped on the way, and I must have shouted "Oggy, Oggy, Oggy" about 4 times in a row, and Jordan just come and snatched the mic off me. He went, "Go and sit down, you two fucked." So I got in the dance floor and got amongst it and that, and then but other than that, it was good. But then that's where I started meeting Candy, Grundy, and meeting Guesty, meeting people through sort of being out and about, because you're on stage with them and you sort of performing and stuff, and little bits here and there, nothing major.
Yeah.
It was just a sort of little bits here and there, and then I just sort of not fell out of love with it. I think
life becomes
I think it was just sort of. I preferred. Jordan took it dead serious. Like I said, if he wants to do something, he wants to be the best at it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take it that serious. I was just more asked about getting in for free and making sure that if it weren't going to cost me anything to go out, so I'd had a few whatever I had in my pocket to see me through the night. I'd had a few drinks, got a bit of money, and it weren't costing me in taxi fares there and back or anything like that. So I never really took it seriously.
Yeah.
I was just more about just having a bit of a laugh and everything. It's only since lockdown where I thought, no, I could actually do something here. But before that, I was just happy just getting by.
So what year was that then that you sort of
2000 Gravity was around about 2005.
Right.
So 2006, 2007, 2008, I think, and then.
Was that it then after that?
Yeah, I think after that I was just going out. So I preferred to be at Sanctuary.
Yeah, than performing.
Because I think Farrell had said to me a year or two before, he said, "You've got something, but you get too smashed when you go out.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to book you while you're like that." And I didn't really pay attention to him, so it took 11 years for him to finally book me, because it took me that long to listen to what he said. Like I was saying before off camera, if Farrell came to me now and said, "This is what you need to do to get to that next level," you're taking it on board, because there's not many other people who know. Who was I saying it to the other day? In any industry, any walk of life or anything, if someone's been successful at doing something for over 20 years and they offer you advice, you'd be a fucking fool not to listen to it and try and take it on board. Yeah. So now, the fact that I got to work with him when he'd done the mix for me,
class.
I didn't want to show myself off as being a little geek or anything, but I was fucking over the moon. I was like, I'm working with Farrell, and then I got to do one with Emma Mitsubishi. Yeah. For me, she's unreal. She's been one of my favourite DJs for years. Yeah. And I was like, fucking hell. And then I got to do Sanctuary's 18th and 19th birthday, because the other one got cancelled, so they did both, didn't they? And then I did New Year's Eve, but I got too pissed on New Year's Eve.
What I was going to say was, I just want to tie it up at when you left, if that's okay for today. When you left initially, because if this is okay with you, I want to come down to yours at some point and do part 2.
Yeah, man.
Because there's 2 parts of life there.
Yeah.
I feel like we could do another 2 hours.
Easily.
Because you're obviously talking off camera, but you told me about the coming back in 2016, and everyone we sort of mutually know with each other, we could sort of get into that and then move forward, if that's okay.
Man,
just so you know, there will be a part 2. I was sort of planning on this today, if I'm honest, as well, because I knew there would be a good story behind you and everything. So we'll just tie up today, if that's all right.
Of course, man,
So now you're sort of back on the scene and stuff like that, where can people find you? Listen to your mixes. Obviously, we talked about, we touched on before you did the Dr. Dre rap and stuff like that. It's on YouTube and that, I believe.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I think it sort of blew up on Facebook initially. It was just sort of my take on living with sort of depression and wanting to I don't know, I just wanted to get shit off my chest. Like it was a dark period that I was going through, and luckily I'm able to write rhymes that help me express myself. Like
Lifts the weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, so it was just one of them where I just felt like I had to do it. But I think mainly sort of SoundCloud, Carl Corver Jr. or Carl Jr. Corver. I'm so shit at promoting my stuff. It's either one of them. I think it's Carl Jr. Corver anyway.
I'll put some links in the comments on the YouTube video if you watch on YouTube, and then you can sort of go from there.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny rhymes in there. There's a lot of dark rhymes. I talk about my past a lot. I talk about things that we all see on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I think, I can't remember who it was that told me, if the way I write my rhymes is, it has to be quite dark so people are like, wow. There has to be a wow factor, but there has to be a lot of comedy in it as well, so people can, it's not just all sort of like, I listen to
you don't listen to it so it's so moody that
you want people to, like Eminem does it really well. I'm not comparing myself to him at all, but he does it where it's such a dark subject. So like Kim, for example, where he's killing his missus, but there's so many comedy bits in there. I try to do it around that, where it's so people are having a laugh at it. Which is weird. When I'm on stage, I never rhyme because it's not. I do my rhyming in the booth, and then when I'm on stage, I just enhance whichever DJ I'm lucky enough to work with. So
well, as a listener, you want that thing where you don't want to be like. So, for instance, if you just did dark stuff without the humour, you don't. People would need to be in the mood to listen to that. And it might affect you as an artist. Yeah. Whereas if you've got the comedy, you can listen to it sort of any time, and you'll be like, yeah. So to tie up today, I asked everyone this question, and if you're gonna get the electric chair because you've stole an ornament that you give to your mum for a present, and they've just caught up with you now, and they've said, right, you're getting the electric chair for this. We're bringing it back just for you because.
Oh right, curry goat is definitely in there. Curry goat, rice and peas, jerk chicken is in there as well. Some fried dumplings. It's going to be a big meal. I'm going to drag it out as long as I can so I don't get the chair. But it's got to be Jamaican.
Are you big on the Jamaican food?
Yeah. Obviously, it's from when we moved in with my dad. It's all we didn't really get taught much of the sort of the British values. We because my dad was all into his Jamaican side of the family, so that's all we really knew. So I cook it. Not as much as I should, but I cook it. I do a nice food. So next time you come down, I'll cook for you. I'll do you some jerk chicken and rice and stuff like that. So
obviously we can talk off camera, but the part 2, I want it to be within sort of in a couple of months' time. Definitely, because we can pick up from. There's so much to talk. I've got so many questions still to ask you as well. Yeah. Like, obviously, I knew that there was we could call it the prequel, and then do you know what I mean? The sequel to it. I do have planning on return guests, and I said this off pod as well.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to be one of the first return guests that come on as well, because we've barely scraped the surface. We haven't even talked about rave music that much in general.
No, it's just been about history in it for now. But
I just want to say thank you for coming on, mate, and I really appreciate you coming on and telling that story. Like, you didn't need to come and do it, and you've wanted to get it off your chest and that. And I think a lot of people can relate, and a lot of people will appreciate what you've done today.
I think loads of people are going through shit, aren't they? You know, and I think there's a big thing at the minute from the lad recently, Drew, that took his own life.
Yeah.
He was a big part. I think the antidote lot was more connected to him.
Yeah.
And there's a big thing, you know, speak up, not man up. Shit does affect you. Do you know what I mean? When you even later on in life, it does affect you. So you should find. I'm not saying do podcasts. I'm not saying do rhyming. I'm not saying find some way.
Find a release.
Find some way of getting shit off your chest, because there's too many good people not here anymore because they didn't feel that they had something. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so on that note, we're going to end it today. I just want to say thank you for listening. I'd usually do the thing, share it with your mates and everything like that, but I think it's a good note to end on. So if you've got any struggles out like that, then speak. And if I know you and or know of you, give us a message. I've always got an open number.
That a lot,
yeah. Even though, because a lot of the time, and I'm just going to say this before we go, a lot of the time people don't want to speak to people that they're close to because it shows weakness. And if
my
it's
biggest
somebody
outlet,
me to you today, we've become acquaintances. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it is. It might be a good idea to speak to somebody who It's not necessarily going to judge you because they don't know you.
Yeah.
So as I say, my box is always open. And
Likewise,
yeah. So if anyone's looking for any help like that, I'm here.
man.
I don't feel like you're taking time away from my day or anything like that. If you've got 1,000 paragraphs to write just to get it off your chest, I'll sit and read it. Do you know what I mean? It's, if I know it's going to help somebody, and if
Yeah, of course.
yeah, exactly. So if you just want to say thank you for coming on again today, mate.
Pleasure, mate. Definitely.
No worries. Right, I'll see you later.
Adios.